Hey, Steezy. Yeah, I'm not happy with Tesla. Someone asked, we still thinking Monday the selling begins? Yeah. I'm keeping an eye on Tesla. I'm checking specifically the 1 minute. I want to see if we see any big pushes, any big candles. I'm still waiting for it, but yeah. Chung, how much risk is there in the Twitter deal? None to me. None to me. I'm not happy about that Bloomberg report because I don't think they should have published it. Not because I want like bad information like withheld, but because their sources were theoretically some insiders within the quote administration. And then they asked this morning the administration up front. The administration's like, the White House specifically said, we are not aware of any conversations like that. I think it was a bullshit report. Yep, Garfo's right. So, yeah. Yep, Callie Otter, you might be pointing out, Kathy's a buy-in. Twitter dump is a gift here. Yes, by the end of the day, I'm going to probably buy a bunch of it. Just chairs. Just chairs. Yeah. Not going to try options. No need to. But Stimmy Joe's, as Twitter puts, yeah. Like, here's the funny thing. Like, I don't think people realize how CFIUS, okay? Committee, I don't even fucking know what their acronym is. Let me pull them up. It's CIFUS. Committee on, CFIUS. Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. That's the entity. We know this entity because they stepped in on the Magna chip deal that we were looking at over about a year ago, which definitely sucked because I didn't think they were going to do it. All right. Healing Care Bear is pointing out the fun thing. If the U.S. government attempts to block the Twitter purchase, Musk would not be ordered to drop them and complete the deal pursuant to his promise to use best efforts. That's my understanding as well. By the way, he was supposed to close the deal in September. All right? There is something called the prevention doctrine, which is basically if something comes up that would nullify a purchase agreement, a merger agreement, in the court of Delaware, they ruled on this, but that came up through the actions of one party, then the agreement can essentially still be enforced. This is the funny way of saying where if Elon tried to like shit on the deal so much that his not his equity, his debt partners found the means to walk away, and it was determined to be because of Musk's own conduct, Musk would be forced to continue with the deal, even though that would be a specific clause allowing out. He has no way out. The more interesting aspect is CFIUS checks, reviews, can occur after the transaction would go. So if there's an attempt to make sure Elon doesn't have equity financing from foreign parties, all right, Elon's on the hook for the entire equity component of this. He just has to sell more shares of Tesla stock. If he manages to get himself declared a foreign agent after the transaction goes through, he can be forced to sell at a loss. Absolutely, that can happen. Forced divestiture does happen. More importantly, Starlink, SpaceX, those government contracts go poof. You think Elon wants that? He would rather buy Twitter for too much money and share that expense. No, he can't use this to back out. Absolutely not. The deal was best efforts when the stay was granted. $55. No, spy shares. By the end of the day, I'm probably buying a bunch more shares. I can't believe they're giving me another opportunity to make some money. It's just a simple, 8%? To hold for next week? This deal's closing next week. Yeah. Yep, Garfo. Bloomberg with several reports recently from sources that get shit all over the next day. I agree. I I do not play the conspiracy card often. I am fucking straight out saying Bloomberg's reporters who put this piece out, either they themselves have financial interests, i.e. they themselves are fucking malicious, or they are useful idiots for someone who does. Because the fact that the White House basically, like, pushed back the very next day, yeah. Yeah, make fake report and get a lifetime terminal for free. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Soaring Kiwi, yep. The Starlink and SpaceX point is the best reason why that review would fuck him terribly. He would lose a lot more money. Literally, like, SpaceX overnight becomes almost unviable. Starlink would lose any ability to do business with the U.S. Government, which is the source of their contracts. Like, it destroys both companies. Basically, Elon Musk would have to give up control of them now. Do you think this is what he wants to do? No. So yeah, I am absurdly pissed off about that report coming out. Not because it impacts me financially. Remember, I got out of my calls. But I'm pissed off by the fact that it's really bad on Bloomberg's part. Like, did they reach out to anybody else in the administration before publishing that report? I mean, this is bad journalism. Straight up. Am I still holding my XP calls? Yeah, they're down like 90%. I'm not gonna fucking sell. No, I'm gonna hold those. I'm bag hold those motherfuckers. And I'm gonna hope that next week saves my ass. Plus, they're already starting to go back up. Look at this. Next week, we have what? Visa and MasterCard? They're gonna say the consistent message, which is, let's talk about AXP now. Fuck it. AXP beat. They had a very good quarter. Here's what happened, though. Two things. Number one, they increased their loan provision, their credit loss provision, from like a record low of this same time period last year to a marginal amount. They even called out credit strength is still strong. Delinquencies are still very low. They called this out. No one cares. Here's why I think they were actually down. Basically, they didn't really provide forward guidance. The expectation, I think, was like between 940 and 960 a share for a full year EPS. And American Express basically said, we anticipate ending this year above our guidance. They didn't give a new number, though. Meanwhile, the sell side analysts are sitting there going like, we think you're getting like 990 or 980. So they didn't provide guidance, and at this point, with the positive news that's basically been shared, everyone expects more. MP Tosca, American Express does have much more risk than Visa MasterCard because it's a closed-loop system. That's a really good point. They do have dead people risk, but they still called out that even with them being conservative, they still called out the rates were substantially lower. Straight Perfection. New York Times ran a poll. 83% of Americans see the mainstream media as a threat to democracy, and 53% see the mainstream media as a major threat to democracy. Yeah, our people are stupid. Yeah. Never forget, the same people who will sit there and say the mainstream media are the ones who will then use like a source like me as their primary source. Someone who may make money separately, who doesn't disclose interests. You know? The greatest example I'll use is Dan Rather. Dan Rather, essentially, his career ended when he publicized a bad report about George W. Bush's flight record of the Air Texas National Guard. All right? And guess what happened to him? He basically got ran out. His credibility was destroyed. All right? Compare that to someone like Joe Rogan. Or one of like the ESPN sports news personalities who like breaks news of a potential deal, it doesn't happen, etc. Those people get paid for outrage, and there's numerous examples you can use. Yeah. So I'm not surprised by that poll, Straight Perfection. I also think it's not significant. America's got a lot of dumb motherfuckers. Dumb motherfuckers. False Alarm, thank you for the sub. Greatly appreciated. Alex Jones, oh, it was a wonderful example. It's the gay frogs. God. Never forget, okay? Alex Jones got well known for 9/11 truthing, all right? And he said all sorts of stupid statements. Number one piece of proof you need to know that's why 9/11 was not an inside job is Alex Jones is still alive. Imagine, like, the deep state, so capable of murdering like 3,000 Americans. You know, they're gonna let that guy live. Straight perfection. Dumb journalists or dumb people believing in journalists? Like everything, both. Both. And there's lots of dumbness. Never forget, my base like viewpoint on life is I think we always assume this hyper smart population or hyper smart decision makers. That's not the case. Lots of people are dumb. Not as much as evil, just dumb. C.Dude, I'm still holding on to my AXP. All right. I was down like 90%. I'm not going to sell on 90%. Oh. Rad, your favorite conspiracy guy failing was Mark Levine. I remember this. In 2019, said he had to leave the radio when Hillary won because she'd ban him. Then Trump won, but he still left for Fox News because he's a patriot. Yes. Yeah. Sounds about right. Let's see how Google's doing today. I made the comment on Twitter, and I fucking believe it. Google should buy Snapchat. Snapchat's a zero, guys. Snapchat's a fucking zero. All right. They had, relatively speaking, a good quarter. Then when you looked even deeper, like, they're giving away so much stock to their employees. They have a 500 million buyback. And I think this year they've given out like $1 billion worth of stock. And never forget, just because you have a stock buyback authorization doesn't mean you're using it. All right? They can announce it. They don't have to do shit. But it's a fucking clown show business. And Google gets beaten up for it. Google lost like 1.5, Snapchats from its market share at one point last night. Why? Because Snapchat's a shitty business. I'm telling you, Google should buy Snapchat and shut them down. Will the true Snap bag holders be their employees? Not their executives, their employees. Yeah, it's a fair question. Their executives dumped all this year. New hot take by Yuv on China Xi. Your concern for women in China, timeline's like 10 years, as more patriarchal, paternalistic CCP realizes need to improve birth rates. Yep. See this, I'll tell that to my dick pics. Yeah, buy Snapchat and send it to Google Graveyard. By the way, C-Dizzle, how much of Snapchat is really the fact that people have learned, like, you can send dick pics on Twitter, and quite frankly, OnlyFans is real. God. Imagine if Snapchat saw Vine and said, that's what I want to do. You know? They could have beaten TikTok to the punch. By the way, you guys know this, the reason why TikTok, the big shift that made TikTok so successful compared to like Facebook, here it is. Facebook, Snapchat, even Instagram was predicated on you having a network of people and you devouring content shared by those people. TikTok was created from the get-go, AI pointed content. So the idea was TikTok was going to serve you shit up from other people. All right? Meanwhile, all these original kind of like Generation 1 social networks were predicated on you bringing your social network there. You don't expand it. But Jay, Snapchat knows when they screenshot your dick pics. Oh boy. Don't we all? Holy shit, Spy's really fucking right now. By the way, guys, do not assume today matters in terms of TA. I'm sure some of you will challenge me on this one, and I accept it. That's fine. I want to point something out, though. All right? Go back and look at all of our OPEX days. I'm pretty sure this was an OPEX, and I'm pretty sure this was an OPEX. Hold on. No, not September 30th. The point that I'm trying to make is that OPEX days tend to produce these big outsized moves. I'm not sure. I know at the very least, this low was absolutely an OPEX back June 16th. Am I feeling bearish or bullish about the S&P 500? Capital gains 20%. First time chat. Welcome to the party, my friend. I feel choppish. Here's what I'll sit there and say. For the end of the year, I'm still holding to my belief that we're somewhere between 390 and 420. So if we're below that level, I guess I have to be bullish, right? And if we keep moving up, you're going to see me get more bearish because nothing fundamentally has changed. I still think the economy is stronger than people expect. The U.S. economy. Global, they're fucked. Okay, U.S. economy is stronger than people suspect. Corporations are stronger than people suspect. Consumer balance sheets are a lot stronger than people expect. However, that's not going to hold up for anything beyond, say, a year. I think by some point next year, that all changes. So it's a weird one, capital gains. It's a weird one. I think we are approaching a time period in which being a stock picker, like basically playing the SPY, would have less upside than playing specific sectors or companies. I think we're going to get to that point. We're going to see more. The magical word around here is differentiation. You know? A day like today when there's so much green, I don't think we learn a lot. By the way, a day in which everything is red, I don't think we learn a lot. That's what I would sit there and say. The max pain for SPY today is 371. Oh. Did we talk about Twitter yet? Yeah, very briefly. I think the report's bullshit. By the end of the day, I'll probably buy a bunch more Twitter shares. I didn't think they'd give me an opportunity to make an additional $4 a share, basically, for holding a week. I don't think anything's changed. Caliot or XLE calls, saving your DGen account. I respect you. B Hood personally positioned for a strong rally next week. I would be. Jem Carson basically says he thinks that the start of next week we go down, but then he thinks it's all a fucking trap anyway. Next week is going to be, to me, all about earnings, specific companies. I think next week we have 3 really interesting companies, and I'm probably going to play all 3. We'll talk about that later, though. Yep, 401k max contributions going up. Nice. So buying the dip on AXP was the play all along. You see a lot of that. Was AXP's earnings really bad? No. No, they were not. Their earnings were good. They didn't provide specific guidance moving forward. And I think that's a little bit of the concern. They also spoke about increasing their provisions for credit losses. But again, guys, I mean, they even called it out. They saw delinquency rates increasing, but still very low. We're coming off of a weird time period. So you say you're increasing like credit usage, you're increasing, loan delinquencies. That always sounds bad, but it's like you're coming off a year in which everything was wild. Like no one was delinquent on credit cards last year. Yeah, broccoli, chopping broccoli. You feel the same, pro analysts? Yeah. You're fighting whether or not to trim your air position. Are you in a DGen account or are you in like a 401k? Do you know what I'm considering doing with my air? I bet you guys already know the answer to this one. What am I doing with my air, guys? My 401k. My large share position in air. What do you think? Which is now up. What do you think I'm doing? Not a goddamn thing. DRS, fuck off. Okay? Air is a company I like. It's a sector. What am I going to do? Buy fucking Tesla? How am I going to play the EV, the growth of EVs? You think I'm going to buy an expensive EV company? No, I'm going to play air. Every fucking inverter, which those cars have, is going to go through an air tool at some point in the future. All right, cool. I trust Air. In Air, I care. Yeah, I'm not gonna set a stop loss. I can't touch the money for like 30 fucking years. So yeah, I'm just gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it. That's all. I don't need to add to that position. You know. The air is so volatile, stop loss, everything in this market's so volatile. Someone asked if I have any intradays. I actually bought SPY calls earlier and sold them off for I think 45%. I have a few Google $100 calls, intradays, and I'll sell them off later. You can still set stop losses, yeah. See Dizzle, you went undercover in Super Stonk last night. Oh, you brave soul. You brave, brave soul. Yeah, Google shouldn't be down, guys. Google shouldn't be down. I'm looking at this map and I'm saying, okay, really? Everything's getting pushed up. Tesla, what the fuck? All right, fine. Google? Really? Because of Snapchat? By the way, Snapchat beat this quarter. All right? The problem with Snapchat, the reason Snapchat's getting rocked is they had to pull guidance because they basically had to admit they're a shitty company. Do you think Google has the same problem? Do you think Google has daily average users like Snapchat? No. Prometheum, I'm glad you called that out. I was going to mention that. So, right now what happens is, like, the use case behind Air is that right now, like, if you take a wafer of chips, say memory chips, okay? You dice them up. You can do burn-in on a certain percentage of them to tell you... I'll come back to that. To tell you whether the wafer is kind of accepted or not, right? That's infant mortality on silicon, all right? So the use case behind Air is that silicon carbide and co-packaged, or rather embedded photonics, both of those, 100% of them have to get burned in because the actual act of burning in essentially changes their chemical properties, their physical properties, and it's important. That being said, Air did call out the fact that they have memory fabs that have actually reached out. And I believe part of the driver behind that is the fact that as memory gets more and more leading edge, particularly because now memory units themselves, like modules, are containing more and more individual die, that now it's becoming more important to actually burn those in. And if there's a wafer level solution for a company like Micron or SK Hynix, that's actually a big deal. So I don't know what it does. I don't know what that market looks like. It's just additional upside the day you see like memory producers saying, fuck it, give me some of them pizza ovens. You know, let me cook up some of them wafers. Lick Margot Robbie's feet. Evan Spiegel still gets to fuck Miranda Kerr, though. Yeah. He had, like... I mean, he himself has done very well. But didn't Snapchat have the opportunity to get acquired by Facebook? Like, didn't he turn that down? Because he could have been fucking all these bitches, like, anyway. God. Life is unfair. Life is unfair. Black Raven, did we see a 10K from Musk? Not yet. We're waiting. By the way, happy to see Apple up. Apple's earnings are next week. I'm already in them. I'm already playing them. Apple's going to beat. I feel that's the case. Damn. SPY don't give a fuck. What are our earnings looking like next week? I want to start looking early at earnings. Next week. God, the full list. AbbVie's interesting. You just got a Tesla put. Well played, my friend. I'm still holding my Tesla puts. Is American Express really rising on up? Give me a second. We're looking at earnings, then we'll come back to that one. American Tower next week's interesting as well, but not really. There's a lot of companies reporting next week. Arc Resources, all you coal heads. Boeing's next week. Hope they don't crash. Boston Scientific, Bristol Myers. Next week could be interesting for big pharma. Caterpillar, Carrier. Carrier is an interesting one. By the way, since they don't exist anymore, I used to work for a company called United Technologies. Whenever I talk about like the big heavy manufacturing, some of the reason why I know a little bit about like ITAR, which is the like the arms restriction treaty. Basically, it restricts like U.S. citizens from doing certain stuff with like foreign nationals or foreign governments. But yeah, United Technologies formerly had Carrier, Sikorsky, fuck, Carrier, Sikorsky, United Technology. It was basically our aerospace division that got merged in with Honeywell. Fuck. So basically, they got bought by Honeywell. And I think Greg, the CEO now, is a former CEO of what's it called? Was a former CEO of United Technology. But I spent time at United Technology, and that was like not a fun company to work for. Yeah, Otis, Sikorsky, Carrier, and then the Aerotech side. Sikorsky we spun off while I was there. So yeah, I have a little bit of appreciation for that company. Just a little bit, though. Next week, Cadence is up. That'll be good. I don't know if anyone's going to care. Chipotle's up next week. Watch for them to do well. Kohu, which I believe may get fucked over on China restrictions. I mean, badass helicopters. Yep. America. Fuck yeah. Chevron's next week. We got some oil coming up, huh? Dexcom. There's 3 companies I give a shit about next week. Apple's one of them. Is CLF next week? Because I think CLF is next week, and CLF will be the other one. The third one you guys will not probably guess. Even though I mentioned them yesterday. Nope, CLF is next week. CLF is next week. Hey, Londrelli, thank you for the sub. The third company, guys, that reports next week, and this one I want to talk about very briefly. Clack. Clack is up next week. All right. Look at Lam Research. Look at ASML. Just this morning, Applied Materials and ASML got upgrades to up to overweight. All right. Already, those companies got upgraded. The issue with China restrictions on tools, we already know applies to Chinese companies, not to the foreign companies that operate fabs. They already have a full year worth of waivers. The interesting thing here in terms of Clack has a lot more exposure to leading edge logic. That's not where Chinese companies are competing on anyway. So I'm willing to bet this is the next semi-cap that's going to do very well. Healing Care Bear. Is my Tesla puts for 1028? Yes. Yes. Yeah. My Tesla position's not happy today. Yep. The fraud mobile is going strong. I'll have to make it up with other things. Lick Margot Robbie's feet. Intel long term sounds juicy or not. So we talk about Intel a lot. A lot of people like we're all like we all follow the semiconductor sector pretty well. Let me share something with you about Intel. Shit, where the fuck is it? I thought I forwarded it this morning. Maybe it was just the Discord. Let me pull it up then there. Yeah, Intel was catching strays this morning. Here we go. Open original. Yep, here we go. So, this is an important chart. All right, in regards to Intel. All right, this is free cash flow. All right, free cash flow. This is important. When people talk about Intel and valuation, all right, for this last year, free cash flow, Broadcom gave you $4.3 billion. TSMC, with all their investments, gave you $3.68 billion. Qualcomm, $2.34 billion. Texas Instruments over 1, ADI over 1. AMD was only $900 million. That's fine. Big acquisition. Nvidia's $800 million. Again, that's fine. Micron, with their shitty year, $164 million. That's not good, right? Intel, negative $6.5 billion fucking dollars. That's big. Here's the problem with Intel. Long term, as you asked the question, long term. Long term, I like Intel. I like the whole fucking sector. We need more semiconductors. I believe. And I want to believe in Pat Gelsinger. Here's the problem. I'm not touching Intel anytime basically before probably 2025. All right, 2025. Because right now, Intel is spending a shitload of money to get TSMC to manufacture their chips, because Intel can't manufacture them chips. All right? And at the same time, they're investing in all their fab facilities in order to even try to catch up with TSMC so they can eventually fab their own chips. I'm straight up saying, if you want my friendly viewpoint on this, every dollar you spend in Intel long term will probably net you some profit. You'll probably make more profit though, particularly in the nearer term, just sending those dollars into Qualcomm or Broadcom. The two comms. By the way, Prometheum, you got me. I'm getting a lot more bullish on Broadcom. Do you know why? AT&T and Verizon's reporting. Verizon spent like $22 billion in CapEx this year. Who do you think's getting that fucking money? Broadcom, Qualcomm, etc. Marvell. Oh. Yeah. I'm getting incredibly... Broadcom is, especially for you fucking value investors, all you commodity fans, y'all need to look carefully at Broadcom. Yes, its forward PE is higher than a coal company, it is. But damn it, there's worse operator hands to be in than Hocktan the man. So yeah, that's what I'm going to sit there and say. So Intel, not anytime soon. If they cut their dividend, I will flip my viewpoints. If they actually cut their dividend, I'll get more bullish on Intel. And it's not too often you hear someone say that. Usually cutting a dividend's a bad thing. I want to see that happen. Semi's Fabs, the Stacey Raskin top pick. Ooh, we like Stacey Raskin. So yeah, next week, Clack reports. I expect them to do well. All right. Next week, CLF reports. I'm worried. Sagano, hold that thought. I'll jump back to Intel in a second. That's a good argument. Here's what I'm worried about for CLF. The flat roll market's been shit. The flat roll market prices have gone down. Here's the problem. By the way, lick Margot Robbie's feet. Hold that thought. Believe it or not, an invasion of Taiwan is very bad for Intel. Give me 1 second though. All right. CLF is the #1 producer of flat-rolled steel in the United States. Flat-rolled steel is taking a dick. Do you know who told you this week? Steel Dynamics and Nucor. Do you know why Steel Dynamics made money? Metal fabrication. They sell steel to themselves to fabricate shit. Guess who does not have a metal fabrication business? CLF. Long term, I love Cleveland Cliffs. This earnings season, I don't know. If they are significantly up, particularly beginning next week, I will probably play puts. And by the way, I will warn you now, if you are playing calls or puts on Cleveland Cliffs, you have to understand your position can dramatically change the second Lorenzo Gonzalez, that badass Chad of the CEO, gets on the mic. But they mine iron ore. Yeah, that's true. They have a lot of cost advantages there. But by the way, iron ore pricing is down. I like Cleveland Cliffs. I truly do. I am worried, though, that they did not update guidance. Nucor, Steel Dynamics, and US Steel all updated guidance. Cleveland Cliffs does not. So no one's updated their guide. At the same time, the segments they play in the most are not going to be looking good. So if I do play them puts, I promise you I will close those fuckers before that earnings call even starts. Yep. Their earnings are always a roller coaster. So let me get back to what Margot Robbie specified. Either dividend cut or China invading Taiwan for Intel. And let me go back up to, where's the comment? Where's the comment? Sagano, number one Intel fan, by the way. Intel's 13th generation has been getting good reviews, but the PC market is dead. Let me point this out to you guys. The issue behind Intel right now, if there's an invasion of Taiwan, who do you think is supplying Intel with their most advanced chips right now? Literally, it's TSMC. Intel cannot manufacture 5 nanometer. All right. TSMC is providing Intel with chips right now. It's why Intel's gross margins went to shit. Because TSMC is the most Chad company right now in terms of pricing power. So if you saw an invasion, you're thinking, oh my God, look at all those orders that are probably going to go to Intel. You're not wrong there. But then you also have to back out the fact that Intel is going to miss a lot of their current pipeline because they can't manufacture it. It's going to take them a few years. Does that make sense, guys? Cash Cannon, your neighbors probably thought you were listening to something intelligent until Jay kept saying, lick Margot Robbie's feet. I know. This is a nice group of intelligent people. And then all of a sudden it's like, you know, we've got like user like suck on my nuts or something like that. Someone say money. I don't know. If the PC market is so dead that I'm curious how the high-end NVIDIA 4090 GPU is doing well. It could be intentionally supply constrained and high-end enthusiasts, but still, I don't know. That is a card which does not even have an application. We don't need it. Jerk me off 69. What's up? Suck on my nuts. See? IO. Yeah. Very intelligent. Love my audience. Some of your names, y'all are fucking children. And I love it. I respect it. But yeah, someone say money. I don't know what to think. NVIDIA is supposed to have big issues with inventory, and yet supposedly the 4090 is selling. And no, you don't need that kind of power. Like, there's no killer app for it. Itchy Butthole, thank you for the sub. I love you too, Daddy. Oh, man. Steezy Burger, what's that? Cleveland Cliffs or Richardson camo. I'd wear it. Fuck yeah. I'm not going to buy it. I'm a poor streamer. But yeah, I'd wear it. The divergence in tubular steel versus flat rolled steel makes you bullish on TS. Timken steel, yep. God damn. Used to do corporate HR now, thanks to Itchy Buttholes. Ambrose, yep. Same people buy 700 horsepower cars because they can. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe it's that simple, guys. But In terms of being, quote, inventory constrained, supposedly not. Supposedly, NVIDIA's been building up inventory. They pushed back the release of the 4090, and I believe it's on TSMC's 5-nanometer process, which the expansion got added to significantly. So, they probably have a good... Maybe they didn't push out that much inventory. Maybe that's the case. But yeah, I was not expecting the 4090 to do well. And I'm seeing the same reports that suggest it's doing very well. The thing's fucking massive. Have you seen it? It's a tank. Oh. Let's check the map. Did I already touch on Timros? I don't think he's a fan of me touching on him. But I did mention him briefly. But we will talk. I kind of liked him now. By the way, Emily Chang from Goldman Sachs, she upgraded, including a price increase for Steel Dynamics this morning. That's kind of good. Coca-Cola's next week. Pepsi did well, yes, but keep in mind, Pepsi has Quaker Oats and Frito-Lay. I don't know what Coca-Cola snacking division looks like. Pepsi got a lot of benefit from snacks. Hey, Steely, how you doing, my friend? So, Soaring Kiwi, what Tim Rose said, the reason why the market started going up. You are hearing a lot of, shall we say, dovish talk in regard to interest rates, which is interesting because not a pivot, guys, but now basically trying to prep the stage for going 75 next month, which we know is going to happen. No one's shocked. Market knows. To then start downgrading to 50 basis point hikes. Now, keep in mind, guys, 50 basis points is still a big hike. Oh, back in my days as a kid, you didn't see, like, rate hikes or cuts more than 25 basis points. It's my way of saying, for some of you younger people, y'all are spoiled. We didn't get these big rate hikes, these big rate moves. That was not normal. 25 was it. So now we're apparently getting 75 next month, and they're going to start, quote, setting the stage to do 50 or 25. Most likely 50 at first. Either way, you're hearing a lot more conversation now, like that no one wants too hard, too fast, other than your ex. Nice. Got him. You are hearing a lot more conversation about being cognizant of, quote, over-tightening. Yep, still holding AXP. Not trading it yet. The BNP note said today, terminal is 5.45. The market is so much more aggressive than the Fed right now. I think this is why there's, guys, I would be very questioning, like, people going particularly bearish on FOMC days from now on. You got to be very careful. Think about this, okay? Major banks, the Fed funds rate, everything's starting to price in a terminal rate above 5. Bullard isn't even there. And now you've got Fed people prepping the stage. Bullard said potentially moving any 2023 hikes into 2022 back to his front-loading basis. And now you've got people intentionally greasing the skis to basically downgrade from 75 to 50. Garfo, I agree with this, by the way. It's the speed of the moves that's worrying the Fed now, in particular the 10-year. The 10-year made some violent moves this week. Violent moves. So I agree with you 100% on that. So I would just be cautious going substantially bearish into FOMC, because if they're already talking about this, you got to understand the market is right now more aggressive or more hawkish than the Fed is. And I'm saying the Fed as of last week, not the Fed that's now giving meetings, giving interviews. Evans said we could be at neutral right now. Keep in mind, they've said they want to go into restrictive, so that's not too big of a shock. A Fed that's starting to try to get people to understand they're approaching the end of the hiking cycle. and the market's position substantially more hawkish. That's called offsides. Prometheum, the 30-year yield started to go parabolic in the last week. That's what I think is changing things. That's what, and I'm pretty certain you're going to agree with that. I mean, look at this in a 1 week move. This is a lot. Twitch streams, are the rates neutral considering inflation? Depends on your time frame for inflation. You usually don't use, I mean, right now, what's the rate of inflation you would expect to hold rates? Keep in mind, you're supposed to be forward looking. You're buying an asset today to hold for, say, a 1 year maturity. So do you care about the inflation rate right now, or do you care about the inflation rate over the next year? The market doesn't think inflation's a significant problem moving forward. Yeah, weird. There's a lot of weirdness going on. And I was tracking the bonds this morning. The 10-year just went negative. Wow. Didn't expect that one to happen. 10-year just went negative on the day. Yeah, real rates. Nominal minus inflation equals real. Always. Yep, so the 10-year now went negative. The most important thing to understand, all right? Basically, the 2-year is down 11 basis points. The 10-year is down about 1 basis point. The 30-year is up about 9 basis points. All right? It's steepening. We're still inverted. All right? We're still inverted, but the yield curve is steepening. I'm willing to bet the Fed is okay with that. You need to stop the explosive moves on the short end in particular. They'll worry about the long end separately. The fact that Tim Rose keeps getting pulled out when you see like big moves in the bond market shows the Fed, though, is taking that third mandate, quote, market stability, particularly the bond market, shows you they're taking it kind of seriously. Sandroid, so what does this mean in layman's terms? In layman's terms, I'll sit there and say inflation is not perceived to be a long-run issue, but that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. That's always kind of been the case. I think what it means from an investing standpoint is don't go overly positioned bearish for when the Fed speaks. You can be bearish when CPI or PCE reports come out, but be careful because right now the market is more hawkish than the Fed is in terms of how they're pricing shit in. If the Fed, basically, don't fight the Fed, means if you think the terminal rate is higher than the Fed is telling you, and now they're starting to communicate slowing down the rate hikes, people who are aggressively hawkish on rates are fighting the Fed. Prometheum, you think people are calling an inflation regime change too early and with too much confidence? Hard to tell what is temporary COVID era shocks and what will be long lasting. I somewhat agree. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. We do have to see. To me, like, it's the Fed should kind of be on autopilot now, which is, all right, PCE, CPI comes in high, that's fine, 75. The next one comes in high, all right, 75. Do I still think recession is 2023 at this point? Yes. How big of one? The U.S., not particularly big. I don't think it's particularly big. But we'll see. We are geopolitically fragile, which means if any bombs go off, say in Azerbaijan, Armenia, anything in the Balkans, any escalation between Ukraine and Russia, shit can go bad real quick. Continuing 75 until inflation drops doesn't make sense. I agree. I don't think you need to see inflation truly... Put it this way. I don't think they're going to keep hiking until 2%. And I think Evans called that out today. He said that that would risk over-tightening. Instead, what I think is specifically going to happen is if they get another month that's roughly indicative of like flat to decreasing month over month on headline CPI, they'll use that as their pause and hold, and they'll just never go back to hiking until the next cycle. It's a recession for ants. I just said a smaller recession. Remember, we had a recession just 2 years ago. You usually don't get 2 recessions in 2 years. Windy, core CPI is yet to peak, unfortunately. Yeah, but I think they know it's because of housing. Housing is outwardly more powerful in core, and everyone knows. They're calling it out. Like the Fed today was calling it out. All their data on housing's lagging. Here's what's fucked up, guys. The fucked up aspect on the lagging nature of housing inflation is a lot of people saying now the reason why the Fed was slow to react is because the housing inflation wasn't showing up in real time this same time period last year. Look, Margaret Rubby Feet, we need a world war to reset the economy. We actually don't. Economic actors tend to be pretty robust. We just need time. We've already gotten a pretty big reset, by the way, when you consider how much death COVID caused. The Donald, am I still long-term bullish on Tesla and short-term bearish? Yes. Yes, that's a good way of viewing it. It's a very good way of viewing it. Yeah. God. Did you guys catch the news on Pfizer and Moderna and BioNTech? Do you know why they're fucking mooning right now? They're raising prices. Just last night, I was having a conversation with a friend, and they asked me my thoughts in regards to whether COVID, COVID's already baked out of their prices. And I was like, yeah, at this point, they should. And yet, boom. Look at that. Apparently, they're going to raise prices, and they're going fucking up. Get your COVID shot last year. Nice. Give me the flu. Yeah, the flu shot's the one I want. Give me them both. In one little vial. Yeah. Yep. Now have your 69th booster. The one that makes the super powerful. Got your booster 2 weeks ago? Excellent. Yeah. Steely Hands, I've seen that same thing. If you switch out Case Shiller for owner's equivalent rent, core CPI is in deflation. Yep. COVID repositories or THC COVID gummy bears? I like the second one idea. Yeah. Ooh, I'm so sorry. It's not mine. The booster kicked your wife's ass? Yeah. Yeah. Long term, my viewpoint on any of the messenger RNA companies, so Pfizer, leave Pfizer aside for a second, Moderna or BioNTech. At some point, I will probably grab a long-term holding in BioNTech. I trust the talent. I trust that leadership. They're going to do very good shit to help solve cancer. You're not buying these companies for COVID at all. It doesn't make sense. All right. The wacky thing about BioNTech, God, imagine if you're a value investor, I don't tell you what this company does. I just tell you forward PE is about 7. Okay. It's trading right now at 130. It's got $36 per share in cash right now. Debt, 0. 0 debt. About 1/3 of its market cap in cash. Forward PE under 7. Now, if I told you what the company did for a living, and it's like, oh yeah, and they have a very, very deep pipeline in terms of flu vaccines and individualized cancer treatments, will make them a lot of money. So like BioNTech, I like better than Moderna just because it's talent. It's talent. When I studied this company, that leadership for BioNTech, I fucking love. Yeah, your poor friend of yours got a direct roll at Moderna with tons of options, except the stock was around 400. Ouch. Brutal. Yep, it's German. We, short laddering Tesla? Is it? Does it happen? Not yet. Not seen it. Check the 1 minute. I'm looking for any big jumps in volume to indicate Tesla's selling. Or Musk is selling. How's Twitter doing? That report is so bullshit. Oh well. How many? I was hoping, by the way, options would be cheaper. The options market sees through this, so it's like fuck. How's Google doing? Come on, Google, go green. This is bullshit. Yep, short laddering your puts. I feel you. You're saying the stream went out for you? And Musk attacked my stream? No, I don't think so. Ever since I got hardlined in, guys, my streams been doing well. Intel was the play. By the way, I saw nothing. I see nothing that makes Intel go up. I'm assuming just high beta. That or people are playing the ETFs on semiconductors. What strike are my puts for Tesla? My major position is 195 for next week. So I have two of them positions, and one of them is not working out for me, so don't imitate that one. Yeah. So I have the October 28th $195 puts, which are down 48%. They're not happy. I need them to do a little bit better. Come on. American Express analyst says, buy the earnings dip. Fundamentals remain strong. Oh, Straight Perfection. Yep, we're going to talk about that one. Have you guys fucking... And then we're going to talk about Oracle next. Thank you for pointing that one out. Man. Weren't they not doing well in After Hours last night? Didn't we call this out together? Oh, yeah, the long term. Y'all want to see a dead body? This is their weekly chart. Oh. Truly a piece of shit. The Donald, he has to sell. If he's buying Twitter next Friday, he has to sell. Look at this dead fucking body. This is the Truly story. They released a seltzer, a beer substitute, and they built out capacity to produce a lot of it. And do you know what happened? First of all, the seltzer market itself actually contracted, but more importantly, a lot of competition flooded in. And yeah, people didn't like their offering. That's what caused this. If SAM chart is what it looks like when you have shit product, why is SAP what it is? Because it's a lot easier to produce an alcoholic beverage than an enterprise resource platform. That's why. More competition. What do I think about Kano? Keeps on dropping past the acquisition news? No clue. Still holding. He already sold a bit a long time ago, but the estimates from like Dan Wedbush now is between 5 to 8 billion he needs. He wasn't able to sell enough to cover it. Not only that, we don't know the status on his equity partners. If his equity partners are backing out, Elon has to cover every single penny of that. So we're still waiting to see him sell, which is why I'm short Tesla. By the way, presuming he does sell, once that happens, if he then announces he's done selling, I expect Tesla stock to go right back up. They have a rabid retail fan base. And Tesla's earnings, guys, was not bad. It really wasn't. I'd love to shit on this company. I pointed out their free cash flow to me was juiced. They basically paid for it by not paying their accounts payable bills. Nonetheless, yeah. The Tesla puts FC must. Imagine if Rupert Murdoch comes in with the rest of the money. Yeah. The Donald, isn't there a period before and after earnings where he can't sell? Correct. And that period expires today. So that's why we're waiting for a 10K from Elon to indicate he's able to sell. Rad, well, you think Tesla, the stock, is overvalued. If you want an EV that looks like a car, the Model 3 is the best option. Yeah, probably. Like, truly, Tesla is a good business. You're not going to hear me shit on the business. I'm shitting on the stock. There's a difference. Put it this way. Twitter is a shitty business. Yet, I still have the stock. The 10Q, I think, actually happens either... I don't know. It's a good question. I had a lot of people online saying it happens before. But then I remember Ryan Cohen's 10Q, which came out essentially after he'd already started selling. EVs are supposed to look like spacecrafts with hideous rims. Then it's a notification of sale that he needs to do within 48 hours. Sounds about right. Form 4 after he sells. Sounds about right. Tesla panel misalignment, paint issues, and refused deliveries are still a thing. To be fair, that happens to a lot of automotive companies. And I shit on Tesla a lot. But yeah. Remember, they still have higher margins than all their competition, which is pretty impressive. Ford Lightning seems cool, yep. What the fuck? Wall Street's biggest bear, Mike Wilson, who's been spot on all year, now says a bear market rally all the way up to 4,000 with the potential overshoot to 4,150 on the SPY. Hey, Jankwalk, how you doing, my friend? You saw a Polestar the other... Yeah, Polestar. I mocked that car for a while. I saw one up close. It was not nearly bad. I saw a Rivian, and it's fucking ugly. Rivians are fucking ugly. I have to read that later. Sometimes I like shit just to remind myself to read it later. Drain Bramhage. Soxel up while AMD sputter. Oh, what the fuck? I don't get AMD. AMD's driving me nuts. Jankwalk, another Bank of Japan yen intervention? Are you sure? Are you sure that's what happened? Hmm? Let me pull up a chart. Someone else pointed this in my Discord. Are you sure the Bank of Japan... No, this is the US dollar to Japanese yen. Look at this. Bank of Japan, what are you doing? Pretty sure that was an intervention, yeah. Guy next to you in your garage is a Lucid. Lucids look nice. I've seen one of them up close too. I've seen a Lucid. I've seen a Polestar. I think I was going to say porn star. I've seen a Rivian. Rivian was ugly. I can't get behind that. Rivian looks like shit. Yeah. Bank of Japan be fucking around. Penny, you were long the Japanese yen for so long, hoping for this. Finally broke even. Well played, my friend. Tatanka, Tesla also is meant to spend on advertising like other legacy automakers. Yeah, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. Yes, long term, the Tesla business is going to be fine. I just think it's overvalued as all fuck right now. Tesla is priced a bit ridiculous. Is at some point, it's going to have serious competition. It's just going to take time. By the way, all the pictures I've seen of the new GM EV cars, I think look very nice. Bank of Japan selling U.S. treasuries to support the yuan. Yen. Yes, that's what the thoughts are. Hey, Enchilada. Thoughts on the Biden administration potentially looking at blocking the Twitter acquisition? That's a FUD story. I don't think it's real. The White House has already put out a statement basically saying, or they were asked the question like about it, the story, and they said they're not aware of any discussions. I don't think the story's real. So Nick Kolas is big on Tesla, and he was an auto analyst for years. Says the big advantage is they don't have to reinvest in ICE's internal combustion engines, by the way, versus the other automakers. I agree on that. However, Rad the Reptile's statement follows it up, though. Tesla's biggest issue, they currently have a 53% market share. How are they going to keep that with all these new EVs? To me, that means as they get more credible competition in the EV space, they're going to find their margins challenged. And that, to me, is a bigger concern. But you're right. Like, that's why the most scary thing for Tesla could have been when there was the conversation of Ford divesting their ICE engine business completely. That should have been a worrisome thought for Tesla. So all of a sudden, a Chevy or a Ford basically cuts themselves into half and keeps an EV division to fight against them. That would be a concern. Time to go long, Great British Pound. I don't know about that one. At some point, the dollar is going to quote top. I'm not comfortable calling when. Can Google go green, guys? I'm hoping for it. Steely hands. Apparently, Yellen said they don't comment on open investigations in regard to Musk. You bet this is another Saudi-related issue, since it's supposed about his foreign investors and he has big money from the Saudis. Here's the thing: Prince Talid is his name. The guy who was formerly a Twitter investor and who is now a Twitter investor. Nothing's changed. I actually think his ownership goes down under the New Deal. Someone say money. What in macro would cause the dollar to drop? Every other country getting their heads out of their ass in regards to their own battles on inflation. I don't think what's happening to the US dollar has been so much about the US dollar as the shit show that is every other fucking country. It's not mine. What was the news that dropped for Big Pharma? They are fucking today. Pfizer, BioNTech basically announced their increase in the price for the COVID vaccine. Yep, Steely, the relationship between DC and Saudi has changed. Yeah, but I don't think it'd be one thing if the Saudis had control over Twitter. I don't think so. Put it this way. I think the bigger deal, if any investigation on Elon Musk, is Starlink and SpaceX. It's not Twitter. I don't think the administration cares. If you want to be cynical about it, here's the number one reason to be cynical. Midterm elections. You think for 1 second the Biden administration wants to block it? It's basically a black eye right going into elections. It wouldn't work well. They'll wait till afterward. And they can do that, by the way. Let's check Tesla, see if we see any Someone said that every time it hits 212, it's been selling. What's the volume on Tesla looking like compared to other days? Actually, it's lower than yesterday. Yesterday at 117, today's only 53. You bet the Saudi flare-up is what's causing the reviews. I don't think it's real. I don't think there's any reviews going on right now. I think that story's bullshit. I think someone's playing Bloomberg. Jay Corbett. So it can close and they can what? Force him to sell it? Yep. They can force him, by the way, to divest the Saudi money if they want. All of that's possible. All of that's possible. It wouldn't even be the first time. So yeah, I don't believe that report. No, I don't believe that report at all. I don't think Bloomberg did themselves any favors publishing that report before getting a comment from the White House. Look at the SPY, guys. SPY's at 372. Yep, Netflix has been ripping. Yep, Netflix said we're growing again. Should they be up that much? I don't know. On the same token, though, should Netflix have been down so much? Remember, guys, price versus pivot. All right? If you are buying the market, look at the price you're buying it at. All right? Look at the price. You don't need a pivot for the market to go up. We're already been brutalized. There's so many good companies now that are trading at pretty cheap valuations. You don't need the Fed to say shit to justify buying a Qualcomm or a Microsoft, etc. Not if you're an actual investor. You don't need the Fed to give you the blessing. Warner Brothers Discovery report soon, and they have House of Dragon on the books. Oh, such a good series. I can't wait for this episode. Steely Hands, reporter from Bloomberg with the scoop, was the same one who properly forecasted the gas SPR announcement the other day, so I don't totally dismiss it. She's a good journalist. She should have gotten comment from the White House. Because literally, she puts out the story last night, a week before the deal closes, and the very next day, someone asks the White House, and they basically refute it. They say, I'm not aware of any conversations about that. I'm not saying she's a hack. I'm saying she may have gotten played by someone who is. That's my issue. Like, the story looks just outright fucking wrong. SPY has given you reasons to live. Just wait. Come on, Google. Come on, Google. Go green. Go green. Come on. Do it. Fucking do it. You didn't deserve to have Snapchat remove its market cap from you. Oh, Steely, I don't think she's making it up. I think she was told by someone who is making it up. Oh, can it happen? Please go green. Go green. I just want to see it. Reddit swap article by ING predicts 0.92 the euro to the US dollar. Oh, guys, hold on. Yes. Down lemur happens to Google every quarter. It happened twice last quarter. Twice. They got fucked. Oh. Enchilada, Elon would probably love it if they did block the deal. You would think that, yes. Problem is, if they're blocking it over his source of money, Elon has to come up with that additional money. He has to sell more shares. He's not going to be a big fan of it. Plus, if that actually happened, it would come back and hurt him so much more on the SpaceX and Starlink side. It would crush him. How my Google calls doing? Hold on. They are up now 32%, 34%, 35%. Let me sell. I just want them to go green, that's all. Not gonna fuck around. Not on OPEX day. I'm trying to make back the blood that AXP has inflicted upon me. So now I can truly go up. Spencer, what happened to Elon? He's a dick. No. I'm talking about the report of him being essentially the administration looking at him acquiring Twitter or his SpaceX Starlink deal. Yeah. Yeah. UMC has finally bottomed. It should have. They've had nothing but good news. Foundries have been very strong in this semiconductor cycle. And even as we hit the down part of the cycle, the foundries are going to continue to be strong. Yeah, Steely. I think SpaceX should probably go under review, particularly Starlink. Yeah. I think that's potentially likely. The fact they called out the Twitter deal getting blocked the week before, though, I'm sorry. There needs to be a higher standard put on journalists. Somebody's our fab. Did I see the comment from the head of the U.S. Navy saying China could invade Taiwan? Yeah, I saw that. I don't think it's real. Basically, we'd have to see certain actions by China if they're going to set the stage for an invasion. And by the way, if they were going to do it, literally, I think their window's already passed. The Navy guy short laddering TSMC. Yeah. Fed funds rate for December now has 50 basis point highest probability. Yep, sounds about right. And that's probably why the market's doing what it's doing. Check the futes. The VIX is down. 30-year yields are up. Remember, yields are inverse to prices. This is showing the prices. So basically, the yield curve is steepening. Why is nat gas getting crushed? Because Europe has a lot of it now. Yeah. Part of the premium on natural gas was the concern of European winter. And now, first of all, I mean, remember, we're at the unique time frame where, you know, gas utilization's probably at one of its lowest points. You don't have summer heat. You don't have winter cold, though. So that already is coming into play. And they've been filling up their reserves so much that now there's reports off the coast of Spain they have tankers basically waiting there. And, like, their network's full. Harambe never dies. Make any plays today? Yeah. I bought and sold spy calls and Google calls. I've sold them both out for money. Already out. So, Maxie, you don't think China might do more saber rattling to unite the population in the absence of good economic data? It hasn't worked out well for them. And not only that, you got to look at it like this. Like, what have they gained? It's not. They don't want to keep their population on a war footing edge. Remember, the average person in China, they consider Taiwanese people to be Chinese. They don't want to kill them. They don't. Yeah, I still think China ain't doing shit. They're trying to prep. There was a different report that came out. I think Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State, basically said that they've seen signs that China has moved up their timeline. He didn't say what that timeline was, though. I'll tell you right now, I think traditionally people thought China was looking in like the 2030s. Maybe they're looking at the back half of this decade. I don't know. I was reading that Tesla could do he said they could do a buyback. They have not authorized one yet. If they were going to do that, though, theoretically, Elon would probably be selling before them. Look at the map, guys. Oh, Good for Google. Again, I'm already out. Already jumped out. Twitter's at $50, which is some bullshit. Tesla's not falling. My Apple's up, though. That makes me smile. Hey, you gonna visit me or not? Come on. Fine. First, you stopped by and said hi. As far as you know, the old timeline, according to the U.S. government, was 2027 to 30. Yep. Spencer, when Tesla dead? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what the 1 minute looks like. We're not seeing any significant movement in terms of volume. See if anyone. I mean, is Meta up next week? I know American Tower is next week. Is Meta up next week for earnings? I think the answer is yes. Shit, did it again. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like October 26th. Yeah, Twitter hit 46 in the pre-market. Someone's a dumbass. If they had shares, why the fuck would they sell? Guys, hold on for a second. Let me run us to a break. I can hear Twitter. I can hear Hershey destroying something. I can hear him doing something he should not be doing. So I'll be right back. Monster, what the fuck? Why are you like this? Huh? Yes, I don't care if you. Why are you like this? Why do you do shit like that, huh? Yes. For everyone who's not met Hershey, this is Hershey. He ran into the bathroom, pulled out the bag inside the trash can, and started like shaking it around. Did Hershey get AXP calls? No, he didn't. Hershey attack his face? No. Hershey sweet. Oh, wait, Hershey, you kind of smell like you may be getting the bath this weekend. Yes. Stay there and don't fuck shit up. I closed the door anyway. Yes. Hershey's behind Blitz, yeah. We get news. Tesla's ripping, is it? Wait to see the sell. Apparently, someone bought $9 million worth of Intel calls. Huh. Google going up. Of course it is, because I already sold. Just any Tesla news. I'm not seeing anything on Tesla. Everything's pumping, yeah. SPY's approaching 373. Yep. It's OPEX time. OPEX tends to do fucked up shit, guys. What can we say? So Meta's next week. I'm tempted to do something stupid. Okay, I have one Meta November 18th, $130 call. Just one. Penny Ether, why today's pump? Real simple. Well, not the OPEX side. I think specifically what happened, you've had a lot of Fed speakers. The Nick Timros article for Wall Street Journal is setting the stage for 75 next FOMC. After that, we're getting 50s. Now you've had a lot of Fed speakers come out this week. It turns out it's probably coordinated, talking about the risks of over-tightening. So yeah. NVIDIA's breaking downward trend. Yeah, NVIDIA's a weird one. NVIDIA's a really weird one. I think NVIDIA's... I don't know if they've bottomed yet. I'll tell you who has probably bottomed. Micron. I think Micron bottomed previously. They have to pivot or they kill the entire world economy. It's an interesting argument, yeah. I've heard that to be an example as to why quantitative tightening is probably not going to continue for too much longer. Yeah, pause, to be fair. Pause is the correct term. No one thinks they're pivoting anytime soon, and they shouldn't. Email liquidity doesn't sound great for inflation. If inflation's already going down, if it is, if you believe that's the case, all right, if that's the case and inflation's already going down, all they have to do is maintain current financial conditions and inflation will still go down. Remember, a big component of inflation was supply chain related. Downleamer, Tom Lee going to be closer to right than wrong, maybe. A lot of people forget, by the way, last year, he was saying he expected the first half of 2022 to be rough. It turns out he was right. I already have Tesla puts, and it's not going well for me. I'm not going to jump into any more. I already have a pretty significant position there, so. Apple's up 2%. Yes. He was half right because the second half, yeah, no. I went for October 28th, 195s. You sold your Apple calls too early? It happens. And Bitaska, do I like Ford or GM? No. Neither. Neither of them right now. I'm not going to play automakers. No. God damn, look at the Sebis go bright green. Ooh. And American Express being a bitch. Twitter being a bitch. Verizon's down because they reported earnings this morning and it wasn't quite as good as AT&T's. Yeah, who saw that one coming, huh? Doozy, do I like GameStop? No. No, I do not. It's overvalued right now. Sorry. And you already know the answer to that. The VIX is pushing 30 again. Interesting. Why? Do I like the store? Not particularly. I pre-ordered. Honestly, I pre-ordered the new Call of Duty. Yeah, I had the option to buy it on Steam. I had the option to buy it on Xbox. I had the option of buying it on Blizzard BattleNet. Why would I put on pants and go to a store? There's no price advantage. More of an AMC guy. Yeah. So does the rate pause save the housing market? Nope. The housing market's a bubble. Bubbles deflate. They deflate or they pop. At some point, that's going to happen. The campaign, the visuals are amazing. Yeah, I do. I figured. Campaign though is really impressive. Like just the visuals again. Like they do an impressive job. They really do. They really do. Yeah, I basically pre-ordered the game last night to start playing the campaign now. That's all. Do you remember to get a new hard drive with your COD pre-order? No. 10-year needs to come down and touch that delicious 420. Agreed. When do we get the Hershey cam? I don't know. When he stops being an asshole. Trying to tear shit up. What the fuck's he thinking? Who the fuck does he think he is? Good, like, Spy is just clapping cheeks right now. Still never then. Yeah, probably. Max Payne was 371. We've already passed that. We have already passed that. By the way, guys, see this candle here? That was a $3.6 billion candle on Spy. Yeah. Check ARC. Oh, God. It's probably flying. Yeah, it is. A little bit. Guys, let's talk Oracle for a second. All right. My God. Oracle is chatting out. And why? They dropped a big guidance. Big guidance. All right. Their long-term aspirations, okay, was $65 billion in annual revenue by 2026. That's 4 years from now. So basically, they're expecting to increase their revenue by 50% over a 4-year time frame, and their margins were going to be increasing. Cloud is strong. Jet ski, yep, I'm still in Kano. Prometheum, you don't know about Micron bottoming? Previously, it's only bottomed above book value. When down cycle operating margins bottomed in the teens, it doesn't look that that'll be the case this time. Yeah. Fair point, but I think people have pointed out they burned through on the DRAM side, in particular, the inventory has actually been going faster than expected. Damn, nearly 5%. Who they suing this time? No, their guidance, their new guidance push was a big play. A big play. So they got upgraded this morning. Yeah. Yesterday, they got moved from underweight to neutral. Today, they got moved from sector weight to overweight. It's considered a, quote, defensive play. Not the best thing to be known as in your tech, but yeah. Qualcomm, their battle will be legendary. Yeah. Yep, I did see Kathy Wood was loading the boat on Tesla. Ugh. Let's pretend like we're surprised. Jesus Right. So let me go to the 3-minute. SPY is it's coming for your cheeks. Is Elon selling yet? Still not seeing any peak. Good God. Did I see the new Intel CPU is cheaper and more performant than the Ryzen? Which one? Like which Ryzen? The newest one? I've been keeping too much track of that. All I can sit there and say is the margin per chip, though, is not doing that well. Yes, I'm still short Tesla. I see Ken Griffin. Yeah, for $20 million. I even joked about that on Twitter. My viewpoint is, boy, he will do anything to keep the apes from making fun of him on Twitter. Air is in fuego. Sounds about right. How long should an erection last before a doctor is called? I guess it depends on your doctor. Yeah, if I don't see Tesla down on Monday or Tuesday, I will get nervous as well. That's like us giving Elon $20 to buy a computer. That's correct. Air is wild. Yeah, thank God FOMC blackout starts Monday. Yeah, call Ahua first. You can't take like 8 Fed speakers in 2 days. Thank God they're going to shut the fuck up next week. Yep, Jordy Botto's correct. The whole Intel lineup is more competitive price for performance and absolute performance, but consumer CPUs make little money compared to server. Yep. The story behind AMD versus Intel has nothing to do with the PC market. It's everything to do with the data centers. Small caps bottom first, right? I think so. American Express. Look at it try. Look at it try, guys. It's trying. Don't scare it. It's trying. Tedwardo, thanks for the air tip off. You caught some shit for it, but I hope you are enjoying the last laugh. Oh, beats the messages I used to get. You thought Snap would kill the market. At some point, it's not going to, right? WST. Interesting. West Pharmaceuticals here. I've heard of them. It's not small. I think they tried to recruit me at one point. Forward PE's 24. It's medical instruments and supplies. Injectable drugs, yeah. So designs, manufactures, sells containment and delivery systems for injectable drugs. Interesting. Yep, it's Pennsylvania based. Schlumberger is ripping. Apparently, they had a great quarter this morning. They had a great quarter. I wish Consensus Gurus were still up. You gotta love this. Wall Street is gloomy on big tech before earnings from the Wall Street Journal. Profit expectations the quarter have been sinking for the group. Analyst forecasts are down an average of 33% from the start of the year. Those declines are especially start for Meta and Amazon. I'm telling you. I'm not so quick to shit on the mega caps going into earnings. Twitter is still sub 50. Oh, man. How about UPS going into earnings? I don't know. I think that Spencer, that was your question as well. I don't know. Here's the issue. FedEx sucks. Is that because the market sucks for them or because FedEx is a shitco masquerading as a business? I don't know how to play it. I'll probably avoid it. I'm not too sure. Do we have an earnings calendar for next week? Has a calendar been released yet? Turkey McNugget. No one named Nick should have this much power. It's fucking embarrassing. Kessel, are you in here? The more you read about EVs, the less you ever want to own one. 10 to 20K to replace a battery after only 170,000 kilometers? How much do you drive your car when you use the word only 170,000 kilometers? That's a lot. Mobile Horse, yeah, we talked about Twitter. There's a report which I consider bullshit. All right. There is a report specifically calling out the idea that the federal government's looking at, potential restrictions or potential review of Elon Musk and his deals, including SpaceX, Starlink, and Twitter. I think that report's bullshit, but it scared off a lot of people. By the end of the day, I'll buy a bunch of shares in Twitter, and I'm going to hold it for next week. The transaction will close 54.20. Can I pull up Schlumberger? Sure thing. SLB, slab. Holy shit. They had excellent earnings. Excellent earnings. Had I seen this daily chart, I wouldn't have played it though. How fast do the funds sell? I have no clue. Add any Twitter? I will add Twitter at the end of the day. Shares only? Absolutely. I'm not fucking playing options on that one. Today is a good example of why you didn't want to play options. The Twitter sale is supposed to be completed by next Friday. If it's not completed by next Friday, that judge is going to smack Elon down pretty hardcore. There's this whole thing called prejudgment interest. Elon will be paying every fucking day of interest. Hey, Gelatinous Orangutan, this may be a silly question to ask randomly, but since a lot of talk about data centers, for anyone that uses it, how in the hell did you learn Cisco ACI? That's not a question for me, so anybody else, feel free. We got some data center operators in here, so yeah, I'll let them answer. So for next week for earnings, Cleveland Cliffs, which by the way, I'm not a fan of. Not this time. Clack is next week. Clack, I think, is going to do very well. You got the mega caps. Apple is the one I'm pretty much most comfortable with. I'm getting increasingly comfortable with Amazon. And I kind of can't help but like Meta. Microsoft and Google kind of concern me. By the way, nothing would surprise me if they actually all end up beating because expectations are down. Google, I'm a little worried about their growth on the cloud side. I think they're still growing, but they're not growing as fast as Microsoft or Amazon. I know, I'm an embarrassment to my parents. That's true. 100% true. Yeah, Meta expectations are way too low. I did get one Meta call already. I mean, how many times are we going to let Snapchat body that fucking stock? Do you know what happened last quarter? Snapchat did the same thing to Meta, and Meta beat. So, yeah, I'm calling bullshit. Your first earnings play is going to be Raytheon? That's ballsy. Isn't there some guy that tries to forecast Meta users? Yes. I didn't see what he was saying specifically about it, but keep in mind, the metaverse, with Meta, honestly, the more interesting aspect than Facebook, it's actually Instagram. Oh, I got the $130 strike. Yeah. It's $1,000 for one option. It's not cheap. Calls on Meta. They have legs in the metaverse. Here's the thing to keep in mind, guys. Something interesting from an earnings standpoint. Now, I don't know when you guys want to play it, but the answer should have been yesterday. Halloween. What day of the week is Halloween on? I'm pretty sure it's a Monday. Yes, it's a Monday. It always is. Guess who reports in the morning on Halloween? On Semi. They're going to beat. On Semi reports on Monday mornings. On Semi is going to beat. If you play on Semi for earnings, and I intend to, give yourself time. Do not play weeklies. What happened last time for on Semi, they had an excellent quarter. Analysts looked at free cash flow going down based on expectations, shat on them for like a day or two, then realized what their full earnings report meant, and then they started mooning. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the point at which we saw it. So on Semi is going to have an excellent. They've raised prices this quarter. Micron didn't raise prices. Intel didn't raise prices. Nvidia didn't raise prices. Raising prices at this point is a sign that the semiconductor company's doing well. FOMC will just be a couple days after. Wow. So yeah, on Semi is one of my more favored companies. Is Meta an AI play? To a certain degree, yes. It's not the real AI play is actually like Nvidia. You have on Semi 1111s down 30%. I think you'll be fine. CDAW dude, actually, could you elaborate why raising prices? If you are in a commodity, like a commoditized sector, the ability to raise prices shows you still have demand and shows you have pricing power. Pretty simple like that one. Does that make sense, CDAW? 64 pillars? I don't know. Wait until after earnings or calls on Friday. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to spend next week thinking about that one. Yeah, if on Semi thought there was a concern of demand, we wouldn't be reading reports of them increasing prices. They'd be trying to push product out. So this is a super cool company, by the way. Did Tesla drop? Still green, which sucks. Not significantly. Raising prices on something you haven't even made yet? Yeah. Meanwhile, Apple. Go on, Apple. So what's your opinion on Twitter news? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't believe it. Outright, do not believe it. The timing is incredibly suspect. Ooh, look, the administration now cares so much about the Twitter deal. No, I think it's bullshit. I'm basically about flat in the day, despite the fact that AXP has been bodied. That makes me feel pretty good. God damn, Cleveland Cliffs is up 7%. You have next to no faith in Zuck Meta being able to effectively articulate their next play in the metaverse and how they plan to continue to either grow or better monetize their apps. Fair enough. I kind of disagree, but fair enough. Yeah, see, no, dude. Hate days like today where it's like I just should have bought spy calls. Yeah. No, I feel you. Remember, just keep yourself in the game. All right. If you think the market's going to go up, we have a lot of room above us. If you think the market's going to go down, we have a lot of room below us. Oh, speaking of that, see-da, dude, the McRib is coming back, guys. The McRib is coming back. If you are a bear, how do you live with yourself knowing the big... Isn't the McRib usually a bull market indicator? I've heard that. Someone said it. The Jackson Hole don't fuck with us line. I love this. We are down here. We have plenty of room before the Fed needs to smack us down. These drone videos are outrageous. Look at that little red rocket. Well, drop your dick on it. Yep. Zoom in. It's a Russian tank. There we go. I think we just saw someone died. McRib is not a market indicator, but more of a diarrhea precursor. Why are you like this? Follow them? No, I don't. Should. Back flat by spy put. Interesting. Just wondering, don't they have to kill the bulls in order to make McRibs? It's pork rib. Pork rib. You have to slaughter the pigs. Yeah. Ooh, this is interesting. China is losing more manufacturing and export market share in key sectors to Asian neighbors, with recent zero COVID policies a significant factor leading to further erosion in its long-term dominance of global trade. Handbags, they basically went from 83% to 70, footwear 72 to 65, furniture 64 to 53, clothing accessories 41 to 37. See-da, dude, imagine a swarm of quadcopters all armed with homemade pipe bombs and they just randomly ram people in self-destruct. It's like the perfect crime. You're special. FBI, that guy. No. It's a good argument, see-da, dude, believe it or not. McRibs is disgusting. You're disgusting. Fuck off. We will stand with none of that, W. Joe. None of that. Okay? I will not eat a McRib, but damn it. That's capitalism at work. They made it. They shaped the pork to look like ribs. It's not fucking ribs. Okay, I will not have your slandering in here. You've never eaten a McRib? You should. Just so you can understand how diarrhea can start so sweet and end so voluminous. That's all. Mishi TV, how you doing, my friend? First time chat. If you're laughing at me, that's fair. Spencer, you haven't either because you're a mutant. Just saying. Yeah. Spencer was an extra in that movie, The Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, it's true. Tonight I'm slaughtering you in Goose Goose Duck. Nothing you can do about it. Spencer, tonight I'm going to kill you in front of other people. I'm going to get away with it. Watch. It's going to happen. Listening stock noob. We cover like market and news, stuff like that. Yeah, we tend to talk about stocks and stuff like that. But yeah. Twitch streams. Did I ever read the sugar-free Haribo reviews on Amazon? Yes. Does anybody know what he's talking about? Because I will pull it up. This is hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. As many of the comments before mine stated, having horrific experiences with this product, I thought I would play a prank on my old facility with the vision of each person going through hell. Unfortunately, this is not the case. Well over a dozen employees, not one of them report having to go release the monster in their stomach. That sucks. Maybe I got one of the good bags where they all have stomachs made out of steel. So the story behind this is these sugar-free problem here is they contain, I believe, what's called olestra. And the story behind it is olestra works by being sweet, but it basically induces destructive diarrhea. And so there's this product where if you buy it, and it's not good. It doesn't do good things. Chewing too much sugar-free gum can also give diarrhea. Yep. I use these bears for the purpose of revenge for my coworkers that steal my candy without asking. They smell and taste so good, I had to try to remember not to eat them. My boss ate them the same night that she ate Taco Bell, and I was able to give her twice, which made for 2 nights of endless laughter watching her run for the restroom. Remember Olestra? Yep. They had to warn people not to wear white pants. Yeah. Is the spy slowing down? Or is it just loading up to fuck people more? TMO. MP Tosca is calling out TMO, Thermo Fisher Scientific. Good company. How much exposure do they have to COVID testing? That's my question. For anyone who missed it, Abbott reported this week. Abbott's like the #1 provider of COVID tests. They missed pretty bad. And the problem is, COVID testing is down. Down Lemur. Same with the over-the-counter weight loss drug Alley. Made you poop pants? Yep. It's the Malitol? Yeah. Yeah, Penny calls out Albanese gummy bears, and I've had them before. They're great. I like the real Haribo bears, not the sugar-free shit. Oh, love them. I try to avoid corn syrup whenever possible. Thought it was sorbitol. Not sorbitol. I don't think it's sorbitol. No, Spencer. I think Spencer's wrong, and I think tonight, Spencer, you're gonna die for that. For those of you who don't know, Spencer's one of the people I play Goose Goose Duck with. And I'm going to enjoy making him my bitch tonight. You like your corn and your chips, and that's fucking it. God bless you, sir. Yeah, Spencer, you're going to die. You're going to die screaming. Amazon reviews of sugar-free gummy bears is amazing. Yep, they're all shitting themselves. B-Hood asks, doesn't TMO basically have a monopoly in all lab equipment, corporate schools? I don't know. That's my question. I'm going to go to the wisdom of the crowds. Jesus, they've been beat the fuck up. Here's my question on TML. How much exposure do they have to COVID equipment? All right. That's my question. I'm not going to read their reviews or their earnings reports, although it could be an interesting read through over the weekend. That's my question. What exposure do they have to basically COVID? Because if they have significant, then I'm not going to play them. But if it turns out this company is able to pivot pretty quickly, Sky High Millionaire, what happened to the Nigerian brothers on CNBC? I don't know. They run their own service. I don't know if there was some interesting like ethical dilemma behind the scene to basically put them on when they have their own kind of service. I don't know if it's ethics or if anyone just followed them on Twitter and seen some of the kind of QAnon shit they amplify. I don't know. I actually liked them when they were on. I don't like following them on Twitter as much. I still follow them on Twitter. Some of the shit they like forward on, it's like it's some of the QAnon shit. I'm like, Isn't corn syrup exclusively a U.S. thing? Latin America too. I think generally speaking, though, yeah. Yeah, just put sugar in shit. Don't use corn syrup. Use fucking sugar. Diabetes, weight loss drug. Eli Lilly coming up with one of the biggest blockbusters ever soon. I agree. Problem is it getting priced? I don't know. This is a very expensive PE, by the way. This is a very expensive stock. But they may have one of the biggest drug blockbusters. By the way, Pfizer also may have one. Politics, well, yeah. Come on, Tesla, please die. John Nigerian suggested Schlumberger puts yesterday. That's fine. Not every... from the guy who brought you American Express calls, I'm not going to talk shit when someone puts out an idea and it doesn't work, right? CME Group is allowing bets on just about anything market. Oh my God. They're doing like prediction bets. Oh my. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to look at it over the weekend. Let's see, Meta. Guys, can Meta go green? Hey, Whiskey Jack Black. How you doing, my friend? What's all new? It's OPEX day. Lots of fuckeries afoot. Lots of fuckery. Their futures manipulation wasn't enough? Oh, Jankwonk. Not in this day and age. So Elon will announce him selling Tesla stock at weekend. I'm looking, maybe it's today, the aftermarket, we get the Form 4. That's what I'm hoping for. Look at that. This is really bright green. This feels too green. What's Apple at? Come on, Apple. Go to 150. Rumor is that blackout ends Monday. I thought the blackout theoretically ended today. I just can't believe how much Cleveland Cliffs is just fucking mooning today. I mean, that is impressive. It's up 7%. Are folks starting to feel like copper is becoming investable? Not yet. How different do we think this time frame is from the past? Because here's the thing, I still think we get a recession coming next year. If you actively buy copper before a recession, that is a terrible idea according to past history. Yet copper's starting to move up now. Copper's getting fucking just buried all year long. And the long-term bull case for copper is one of the strongest. It's weird. Berkshire buying Cleveland Cliffs. Don't laugh. I actually think they should. Cleveland Cliffs is a fantastic business. How about Intel being up this much? They report earnings next week, and I do not expect a good earnings report for them. The problem is, how fucking cheap does this stock need to get? Well, given they lose, they're basically free cash flow negative. I don't know. Yep, steely hands. Commodities also aren't usually so beat up heading into a recession. Truth. Should we grab some Intel puts here? I don't know. PE lower than forward PE. Yep. You don't see that often. Man, I don't know. Boyle dropped from 100 to 32. I am so glad I jumped out of Boyle. I took a 10% loss, and that could have been so much worse. We will have the power hour, sour hour vote, absolutely. Go up, Shido. No peg because there is no G. G stands for growth in this case. Yes. Oh, Glup, I will argue a lot of people getting pegged on Intel, right? Mm-hmm. Their long-term earnings base, yep. Prometheum, Intel earnings are down like 60% year over year. Yeah. It's fun to see which semiconductor companies, by the way, have only seen earnings growth. Janquonk, isn't Intel focusing on AI server chips right now? That's their Ponte Vecchio, and they got some time before that one comes out. They've got some time. What is the bear case for Boyle? How much of the price of natural gas has been up based on people worried that Europe would freeze to death during the winter, and now people are substantially less worried about Europe freezing to death? This could simply be the calm before the storm in terms of Boyle. Oh my god, look at it. Holy shit. A less cold winter, yep. Remember, Boyle is Henry Hub, which is U.S. natural gas. Spencer asks, are they going to freeze to death? As he is no doubt engorged at the thought of Euros freezing to death. No, Spencer. They're not going to freeze to death. They may throw some of their older people outside. But yeah. I know, I'm going to be savage to Spencer all day today. Yeah, I think at some point, C-Dizzle, let me know when you jump in. I'll probably do the same thing. But I think at some point, natural gas, this is, you don't need air conditioning. You don't need heat. You're not in a big travel season. This seems like the calm right now. This seems like the calm time. Energy will still have a good run to it. I do believe that. You're anxious to see what Biden does about the OPEC plus production cuts? Hopefully the answer is not much. He shouldn't have to. Just chill. He's already going to sell another 15 million barrels, which will complete, by the way, his original promise on the SPR. I don't think we need to use the SPR more. B-Hood, you just questioned how much of the focus has been on EU's gas reserves when there was 75% of LNG previously was going to Asia and now has been shifted, mostly shifted to the EU. Thank God China basically locked down and didn't have the demand. We didn't have a problem there. C-Dizzle, saying it that way almost makes you have a conscience. No, you don't. It's okay. We respect you for it. Ask you about your Raytheon holdings. Yep. Invade Saudi Arabia and show Putin how it's done. No, no more invasions. The March Boyle options are pricing in 100% growth. Well, it's leveraged, so yeah. And if China does reboot, then the price should snap back real hard. Yep. Yep. Just blockade the ships for like 2 days. Yeah. Yeah, Boyle can. I mean, look at this chart, guys. Boyle can move rapidly. Shit. Boyle, let's see, in the 1 hour chart. All right. 1 hour. We basically went from 57 to 32. All right. That's less than a month. All right, guys, let me start prepping my food so I can come back in time to do the poll. I know you guys love your poll. We know how you guys operate. Bunch of poll lovers here. Spencer loves nothing more than the poll. I'll be right back. Okay, folks. Thank you for being patient. We have a few minutes before the poll. Today's going to be a weird one, though. Oh, well. Anyone brave enough to take puts here? Not yet. Any interesting news? Fed's Bullard. I wouldn't call lower equity prices financial stress. He's right. People were giving the Fed shit last week when they said, like, we don't see signs of economic stress or financial stress. And people were like superimposing the chart on the SPY or bond yields. And he's like, listen, valuation's going down isn't stress. Stress means there's no buyers. All right, folks. It's time. Etouffee. Etouffee. So chicken and sausage. Etouffee. Here's the deal. I assume this guy talks about AMC and GME. I'm jealous that he has like a close. He's under 600 people. Oh, good for him though. I wish him the best. All right. What's our pivot point today, folks? I'm gonna do 372. 372. Okay, do you think we end today above or below 372? All right. You got 2 minutes. Get your bets in. Go, go, go. Steely Hands, currency diplomat in regards to currency of intervention. Would not comment even if we've done it. Oh, that has a much credibility of O.J. Simpson writing a book. If I did it. We know. Hey, Creamy Some Young Guy. Is today a suckers rally or not? I'm not sure. I do not think you can take Friday of OPEX as a trend-setting day. Put it that way. Spencer, please refresh. If you guys don't see the poll, please refresh. Spencer, if you don't see the poll, keep trying on Grindr, man. One of these days, someone will show it to you. You mean the bounce from 350s? I don't know. We've got some pretty good news. Like, remember, we're in earnings season, and generally speaking, earnings have been positive. People keep saying, oh, wait for earnings to come down. Well, heard that last quarter didn't happen. They're like, okay, we'll wait for next quarter. Hearing it from this quarter, still not happening. And by the way, companies are guiding a lot better than I was expecting. Now, yes, at some point, they're going to be right. That day, though, was probably not this earnings season. Separately, though, you are getting more nuance. It's not like every company's beating. And it's not even like every company in a sector's beating, which I think is good. Did I play Snap? No. No, I didn't think it'd be 3 times in a row. Snap would just kind of like shit itself. And yet here we are. Whiskey Jack Black. Earnings did come down though, right? Yes. Yes. Just much cheaper valuations. Exactly. Remember, guys, like Bank of America, I pointed this out yesterday. No, it's JP Morgan. We pointed this out yesterday. They guided down 2023 EPS forecasts. Consensus is like $240. They marked theirs down to 225. Pre-COVID, we were at 161. All right. So when everyone says price-wise, we need to go back to pre-COVID to make sense. All right, fine. If earnings go there, even though rates are higher, so you could say you should see a little bit more. But yeah. How's Meta doing? Come on, Meta. Go back up. How's Apple doing? Apple's fucking. Whiskey. Can you come by the embassy real quick? I want to ask you. It's a trap. He gonna chop your ass up. Why is AXP down on great earnings? Guidance. They didn't really do guidance, forward guidance. And the sell side was they're expecting good things for them. So I think it's a mistake. I think they should be up. Nope, I have not sold my position. I'll wait. Creepy Southern guy. Apple calls for earnings next week. I have Apple calls for November. I'm playing earnings. I think so many people are shit talking Apple, and I think Tim Cook is going to take that personally. What the fuck? Glup, have I able to Generac? Yeah, I looked. They have a short report out against them. There's a lot of people talking shit about them. Earnings yield for SPY is 5.2%. Long duration bonds yield 4.5%. Market super expensive. Yeah, if you're buying the whole market, I think you had to choose. SPY. Oh, I mean, it's max pain was 371. Windy says, regardless of the price action today, the bond market does not appear to be pricing in a pause. Yields are still exactly where they were at the end of the day yesterday, just a reversal of the after-hour action. The dollar move can be attributed to the Bank of Japan, which I believe. The thing that I would say, Wendy, this is what I was mentioning earlier. I would be cautious going into FOMC events, particularly bearish, because right now the bonds, essentially the market is more hawkish than the Fed, meaning if the Fed does confirm moves to basically start not pivoting, but lowering the amount of rate hikes they're going to do, the bond market will be offsides. Unless we're going to let them fight the Fed again and win. Can I comment on how FFR is related to treasuries? I assume you'll never see treasuries like below the FFR, right? Right? The Fed fund rate's essentially what banks lend each other. Or what the central bank rather lends banks. Okay, it's the true quote risk-free rate. So you would expect treasuries to have a premium to that. Has there ever been a situation where treasuries traded lower than the Fed funds rate? So if that's the case, I assume no one would ever buy them, right? Mm-hmm. Penny, why is there any belief at all the Fed won't remain hawkish or data focused? I don't think anyone's saying that, Penny. But this morning they are leaking through their favorite mouthpiece, Nick Timros, that they're conscious of over tightening. The latest CPI print, yeah, this might surprise you guys. Inflation peaked in June. Headline inflation peaked in June. Yeah, we overshot compared to estimates by 0.1%. If you take this last quarter, these last 3 months, by the way, of CPI prints, headline CPI prints, and extrapolate those for an entire year, we're underneath the Fed's target of 2%. No one talks about that. So I think the Fed will remain hawkish. No one's expecting the Fed to not raise rates. Everyone knows 75 basis points comes next month. There's a difference between, not raising rates and raising rates, and we've already priced it in. Yep, see, there's along with you. I think the Fed may be concerned about sovereign debt crisis. Yeah. Windy Fed downshift, bullish. Max stonks. Keep in mind, right now, the SPY's at 373. When Jay Powell took everyone to the woodshed on Jackson Hole, we were right near 420. Okay, so we're about 50 points lower. 45 to 50 points lower than we were at Jackson's Hole. Oh, we got blazed, all right. Mm-hmm. Pentagon says U.S. Defense Secretary Austin initiated call with his Russian counterpart, Shogu. It's not mine. Do I think Kano finds another buyer soon? I hope so. That's what I'm playing for a bounce, yeah. Elon needs to stop tweeting. Someone says WhatsApp had 35 engineers for 450 million users and grew to a team of 50 for 900 million users. Twitter cutting to 2,000 employees from 7,500 is not a skeleton staff. And Elon's laughing. Mark my words, if you are a Twitter employee, do not dare quit. Make them fire you. You will get severance. In California, you will get severance. Chad, do I think it's safe to buy more Twitter shares? Yes. As safe as anything in this market can be. Yes. Okay, Godflats. There's also been $140 billion of retail inflow into money market funds. If that moves into equities, going to tear, yeah. You think Elon has the same meds as Yeezy? Eh. That's a good question, C-Dog. When is quitting a better time than being fired? I don't know. For the most part, get fired. Get fired. All right. High of day. Oh man, Windmaster, we getting high as fuck today. Penny, what's the latest date for the Twitter buyout? Well, latest date could be anything, but the judge has been pretty clear. She expects the transaction to be complete by next Friday. If it's not, she wants the lawyers to immediately send her an email so they can start scheduling a trial. If that happens, she's going to immediately invoke prejudgment interest. Elon will start paying daily. In fact, the clock will have already started. Elon will be paying a fuckload of interest. Believe it or not, if you own Twitter, you are probably going to receive more than $54.20 a share if they have to fight. You don't think severance is required to be paid out by the employer in California? Interesting. I'm not sure if there's any specific rules that happen in regards to what's it called? Like buyouts or whatnot. All I know is that, generally speaking, all the companies I've worked for, we've always paid people severance in California to get them to not sue the shit out of us in the future. You prefer Meta World Peace? Ron Artest. I liked Ron Artest. Fuck it. Will the interest be higher than the broker's margin rate? No clue. You've gotten it too in California? Nice. I think the interest will go to the shareholders. That's a good question, actually. I don't know. Either way, don't buy options on it. Just don't buy options on Twitter. Yeah, Ron Artest was a G. If you haven't read his Playground story, yeah, Ron Artest is a, yeah. Yeah, Substacks. When I worked for Exxon, just an internship, by the way. When I worked for them, it's funny because even people that we fired for cause, we gave them severance. We had a standard package we would give them. Okay. And I remember asking my manager, I was like, why do we do that? Like, and he goes, we have more money than patients to see our name in any newspaper article. So rest assured, we will always pay people for the peace of mind of knowing they can never come back and sue us. And that made sense. Things I didn't expect to see today. AMD lag all of the other semiconductor companies. On semis up 6.5%. What a Chad. What's Air doing? Is it steadily above 20? 2060. Look at this Chad go. Full port air was the play. We don't full port shit around here, but yeah. You sold air at 18. Just don't sell. Yeah, AMD's weird. AMD is one of the most disrespected stocks in the market. When does AMD have earnings, by the way? Do we have a good earnings calendar for next week already? I'd love to see it. Wall Street Bets OG tends to have it out early. Does anyone have a good earnings calendar? Oh, that sucks. Give me a good one. We know we have Intel next week. Intel's always fun to have earnings. Was posted a Discord earlier. Okay, let me see. Wendy's posted it. Thank you, Wendy. See, November 1st. Yeah, for AMD, that makes sense. All right, here we go. Wow. Discover Financials. Logitech. Oh, how's Logitech doing? Such a dead body. Not sure if I'll play it that way. Logitech reports Monday. Logitech should not do well. I don't know if it's priced in or not. Anyway. Wow. Cleveland Cliffs on a Tuesday. This should be interesting. Texas Instruments, Microsoft, and Alphabet all on the same day, and Visa. Don't care about Spotify. Coca-Cola, Raytheon, Cleveland Cliffs, Halliburton. Schlumberger had a fantastic quarter. They're up big today. Does Halliburton follow? They're both oil field services stocks. Novartis is up. That could be an interesting one. SAP, I shit on them all the time. They deserve it. Sherman-Williams. How much of their business is tied to house sales? Better report. Can we expect to see onsemi reach its all-time high again with earnings? Hope so. I expect them to have very good earnings. A bit over a month ago, there was a report that onsemi was still raising prices on customers. It's ludicrous. I will probably play options on Qualcomm. Qualcomm's the follow. Oh, look at this. Yes, finally. Qualcomm is leading its group to report earnings. Look at this. You have Qualcomm, Fortinet, Marathon Oil, MGM. Qualcomm gets top billing. Bless them. They're not competing with Facebook finally. See, yes, AMD did pre-release. They're going to report, yeah. And you'll get their guidance. You think Raytheon is the play? You know, their aerospace division has lagged behind previously. Travel should be good for them. Interesting. NXPI, by the way, is the following week. Yeah, the following week is really spicy. Next week is all about the mega caps, even though there's a lot more than just mega caps. Oh my God, guys. Apple, Amazon, Intel, all in the same day. Uber calls again? I don't know. Wolfspeed is next week. I didn't realize that. That stock is insane. It's hard for me to justify it, even though we played it last time and it worked. Such an interesting day for earnings. Good Lord, air is nutty. What's it doing now? What's it doing now? Yes, it is. Let's see how Tesla's doing. Elon selling. No big volume unless he's just doing it in small batches. Today, the low volume day on Tesla, it seems. Stuck on my nuts. Air, $17.50 calls, bought on Monday, sold for 255% profit. Well played. VIX gets dirty. What the VIX wants, the VIX gets. SPY is at 374. 0. Sorry, Blast Boys. So the Daily mentioned they got a new customer? Yeah. That was earlier this week. Thank you for being honest. My pleasure. Today was a bad day to sit on your ass. Don't worry, C-Dot, dude. There'll always be more days like today. Substacks. Yeah, I saw that actually last night. Banks that committed to help finance Elon Musk's Twitter takeover plan plan to hold all 13 billion of debt backing the deal rather than syndicate it out because they can't sell it yet. Yes. So, sounds about right. But I think most of the tech follows Netflix ERs. Oh, man. Please don't. I hope not. Jesus Christ, guys. Is the SPY going to hit 375? Although I just posted this in the Discord. This is today. Bears getting slaughtered and displayed. Huge gamma node at 3750. Interesting. And listen, today is Friday of OPEX. I don't think today is a day of trend setting, okay? Or even trend breaking. Today is just kind of this independent day. CDAW, you see some headlines now about how earnings aren't that bad in general. I've seen the same thing. To me, the more impressive part's been the guidance. Even if earnings didn't completely die, I was expecting a little bit more negative guide. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing more differentiation. Some sectors are not doing as well, and that's healthy. Hasn't guidance all been lower? No, I haven't seen that. Shit. IBM guided up. That's crazy. It's IBM. Thank you, Substacks, my friend. My Apple calls are up 40%. The SPY just keeps, I know. SPY has no chill right now. My SPY position's bigger than a lot of my usual positions right now, so that's why I'm tempted to do the same thing. Nah, I'm gonna hold. In case they keep running up for earnings. BTC's not fucking. Are people picking quality now? VIX is creeping up. Good. People don't believe this. People buy puts. People add fuel for next rally. I am okay with the VIX creeping up. Fuck it. I'm saying green VIX and greens S&P, easy short. Interesting. All right, I sold my Apple calls. Fuck it. I was up 42%. I want to be a little bit good on risk management, particularly because at the end of today, which is roughly now, I am selling a lot of my Twitter, or I'm buying Twitter. Okay, there. Twitter is by far my largest position. I'm going to take a loss on my GSK. I'm selling my shares position in that one. That one did not work out. So I'm doing some rebalancing as we speak. Keep myself kind of healthy. Go back to the earnings next week. Nothing of too much interest. Be the next FOMC the most important to date? I agree. Every FOMC is important, right? Next week we have I thought there was an oil company next week. Is it the following week? Following week, yeah. Following week is oil. We got BP, Marathon. Is Chipotle going to smash earnings again? I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet they do. Chipotle is such a Chad company. When's Lulu and Ulta? Lulu and Ulta are two I want to keep our eyes on. Spencer, you're really hoping for UPS to fail. I wish you good luck, my sir. Is Twitter's earnings next week? You wonder if Michael Burry bought anything other? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm missing Friday. Okay, yeah. So, by the way, Friday next week, we have ExxonMobil and Chevron and AbbVie. Also, CVS is the following week. Keep your eyes on that one. Full porting Ape on Monday. Yep. Ape and Air would have done you very well. You had to trim half of your Air shares. Hey, that's fine. I'm not blaming you. God, the first restaurant stock to report really is Chipotle. Wow. That's interesting. Yep, Tesla keeps climbing, not making me happy. I can promise you that much. I'm going to add one more meta option since right now most of my money's in shares. Actually, most of my money's in shares of Twitter, by the way. Chipotle first makes you want to play calls and some shit restaurant stock. That might be a smart call. Holding Twitter is like cash. I kind of agree. Listen, guys, maybe I'm wrong. And you've been here long enough, you know I've been wrong often. It's not like it'll be the first, and I fucking promise you it will not be like it's the last. But I think that deal is going through. And if you're looking at the options chain, you realize a lot of other people do too. It's not mine. You sold 2/3 of your Apple for 10% next. Here's my concern, guys. There is the risk that we start next week red. But the only reason we're up today, combined with the FOMC news, sorry, the Fed news, is actually just the sheer fact that we were in OPEX, and that the early next week, all of a sudden, market makers who now have a lot of shares of shit, rehedge, and boom, market goes down. That's why I sold my Apple position. I will rebuy on Monday. Almost certainly. Apple, I feel pretty comfortable about. The reason why I added to Meta is because Meta is red on a day in which everything else is green. It clearly didn't follow the market. So if the market does go red, maybe it doesn't go red. But I think Meta is being overly punished again by Snapchat. Plus, the Apple position I sold was twice the size. It was a $4,000 position. It was twice the size of the Meta position. Mm-hmm. Chad, yeah, Elon trying to get U.S. government to take the deal with foreign ownership risk concerns. The funny thing is if that was actually his play, he would be doing a lot of damage on SpaceX and Starlink. And then, even then, he's not able to escape the merger agreement. The U.S. government won't block the deal. They'll block him using Saudi money or foreign money, which means Elon will have to pay more. Mm-hmm. Look at these stocks go. How did Palo Alto do today? Only up 2%. How are the apes doing today? I mean, listen, everything's up. Most things are up respectable amounts. Semiconductors are going nuts. Broadcom's up 4.3%. Mm-hmm. 7% for onsemi. Mm-hmm. See how our VTORs are doing today. Recursive Eclipse always makes me smile. Seriously. Even when he mocks me, and he does, and it's okay. I respect him for it. But every time he posts, he makes me fucking laugh. Seriously. Hmm. Cisco. The SYSCO. They're the number one provider of food materials, food supplies for restaurants, cafeterias, etc. Their earnings are next week. Last Potato says beef, chicken, and pork way down, diesel up. Restaurants dead. Are they? Shorting here. Huh. Keep in mind, I think I played Cisco last time, and I think it did not work out. But Cisco had a really good quarter last. The problem is no one gives a shit about them. Cisco also has a strike. Restaurants closing a lot. Interesting. Not going to play them. But yeah, I'm inclined to think they do. I'd normally be inclined to think they do well. Hey, Shugo, how you doing? Miss anything big? Nah, market bright green. I sold out of my Apple position. I have a Meta position. And I bought a bunch of Twitter shares. The depth trial didn't make Elon look very good. No comment. There's not a lot that can make him look good. Oh, Shugo. It's because you sold a seat. All right, everybody, let's chat. Let's chat. Eye fucking contact here. Who here has sold covered calls on air? Show yourselves. Show yourselves. Who here has sold a covered call on air? Go ahead. I know you guys are out there. Yep. Whiskey Jack Black. Yep. Yep. Kind of want to now. You sure? Stump Burrito, well played, my friend. My friends. My friends. Listen, I don't blame you. All right? Reminder. For those of you who don't know the story of air, all right, I talk about this company quite a bit. I want to show you a chart. Look at this. This looks like a meme stock. I promise you. It is not a meme stock. This is a real fucking company. All right? You can go back in time. It existed. The difference between why... And by the way, when you see this up here, note this is like $5. All right? And this up here, so the scale changes. All right? I want to make sure you guys all understand that the reason this company looks like this is because brand new product. Basically, this is the first day of their existence. Unlike a lot of startups, though, this is when the company already makes money, already has a good balance sheet, doesn't have debt. Okay, they're well capitalized. That's them. All right. They rose up a little bit too fast. It's because people saw the potential. There may have been a lot of momentum traders behind it. Whatever. All right. And then they got fucking savagely dumped on. Right about here. Because basically, right about here, I started talking about it on stream. Okay. These are weekly charts, weekly candles. I remember our time about it was like roughly $12 or $13. I think I actually started talking about it was like $11 or $10. Never bought in. Waited till like 13. I said, fuck it, fine, I'll buy in. It started going up. And I mentioned to people the small semi-cap tester and VTards, and everyone kept saying, well, what's that? What's that? People send me private messages. I'm like, fine. I got the mods to change the market cap so I can at least say what the ticker was. And then, boom, they fucking died. Okay, from $26 down to like 10, down to $7 at one point. Not a lot of people liked me. Me, I held my shares. So my 401k. Not touching the money for a while. This company is a play on the idea that the world will involve more EVs, more high voltage applications, more photonic chips, because all these need to be burned in, and this company has a theoretical monopoly on the tool that does it. Yeah. So this company is I've received a lot of shit for it, and that's fine. It's fair. I don't complain really. It hurts me, but that's okay. But it's a really good company. I'm just gonna hold shares for years. Top EV companies prepared to spend nearly 1.2 trillion. Yep. Chat Cat, a lot of praise too. Now I get praise. Yeah. Now I get praise. I will argue that the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Sky High Millionaire. You sold Air for a 40% loss over the summer. Yep. Bullish Air on semi Qualcomm. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier to someone today on VTards. Like they said, like, what's your highest confidence stocks over what time frame? And I basically said Air and Qualcomm 5 years. Both of those stocks will compound. How long do I plan on holding Twitter just for the deal? Absolutely. In fact, Substacks, you can't hold it for longer than that because he will buy your shares and the company goes private. Keys also looking at what's Keys? Keysight. Provides electronic design and test solutions. Its communication solutions group provides EDA, software, radio frequency, microwave test solutions, related software, hardware, virtual, okay. Oscilloscopes, okay. Forward PE is 20. No dividend. Don't like to see that, but all right, fine. No debt, really. Decent quantity of cash. That's an interesting one. Everybody, attention, please. Can we please all get some dumpsters in chat for C Dizzle? Fuck Schlumberger, you sold for like a 20% gain earlier this week. Those would have been bags on bags. It's okay. It's okay, C Dizzle. You're a smart dude. You'll get it next time. I'm here for you. I believe in you. But take that dumpster. And if it makes you feel better, you could also give me dumpsters. Oh. I sold my puts on this stock right around here. Right around here. I sold my puts. I bought $60 puts. These would have been tremendously baggish. Yes, you get a robo-dick, and you get a robo-dick. Yep. Yeah. Board XTX, don't give us the Fs. That's usually when the connection goes down. It's okay. God damn, this spy. So, friends, it's Friday night. It's Friday night. Who here is playing games tonight? Anybody playing games tonight? Friday night's for gaming with your friends. Me mugging. Your power surged earlier and you thought it was me. You apologize. It's okay. See, Dizzle, you never revisit trades. It's on TV right now. You gotta sucks when the TV's like mocking you. It's gotta suck. I know that feeling. But yeah. See, Dizzle, you'll make it up. You're a smart dude. You hope to start the Modern Warfare 2 campaign later? Nice. You thought Friday night was for drinking alone and crying about being YOLO'd into the one red stock in the market. Believe it or not, I know that feeling. No, it's not. Friday nights for playing games with your friends. And by the way, if you guys are a part of the Discord, all right, we play games on Friday nights. I'm just saying. Anyone wants to join, all you need is a microphone. Because we play Goose Goose Duck. Goose Goose Duck is perfectly free. It's a free to play game. You can play it on a phone, a tablet, or the PC. PC is probably best. It's like Among Us, but it's got voice chat, hence the microphone. You do need a microphone. Better Abort. What's up with the VIX today? The VIX is up today. Do you know why? Because, Better Abort, no one believes this is real. No one believes this is real. So they're buying puts. Suchi, that feeling when even Jim Cramer is right. I actually think Cramer gets shit on a lot. I don't think he deserves it. I don't. Yeah, we'll cover the puts next week. Yeah. Let's see what Tesla's doing. All right, come on, Tesla. I want to see a big red dilly. Or I want to see that as soon as the market closes, there's news that Elon's selling. That would make me smile. Yeah, people feel so smart when they shit on Cramer. I agree. Cramer is someone that's good to hear perspective from. You don't have to believe him. You don't have to listen. But listen, that guy talks to more people each week through his appearances. He also speaks to CEOs, hedge fund managers, etc. Okay? You need to hear what he has to say just to understand what the broader market could be thinking. That way you can fade it or jump along. That's fine. Penether, Cramer is a caricature of the market. I agree. That's wonderful. Soaring Kiwi. Jay, couldn't Elon sell versus a dark pool? Presuming he could find someone willing to buy it, yeah. Hey, to City, how you doing? You missed the stream? Hey, no problem. You're here now. Do I have any summary of my thoughts on Twitter? Put it this way. I bought 600 shares. I think the news is bullshit. I don't think the federal... Put it this way. Last night, Bloomberg reports that the administration is looking at Elon Musk, including the Twitter deal. This morning, someone asked the White House. The White House says they have no knowledge of any talks on the topic at all. So I bought a bunch of shares. Right now, I have literally more than half of my account, my fuck around account, is Twitter shares. Elon would not sell at the market. He did last time. Rather Reptile, is it worth buying at 50 for something capped at 54? Yes, given that it's going to be capped for next week. 8%, yeah. I'm getting 8% for cash, essentially. It's my cash pile that's gone into it. Yeah, I'm fine. Why next week? The deal's supposed to close by Friday. Or he's risking some shit. Twitter shares and Tesla puts perfectly hedged. 8% for 1 week. Can we do that every week? He can't use this report to ask the judge for extra time? No. Remember, the judge gave a stay on the basis that Elon submitted a filing saying he was going to use this time to go through and consummate the deal. He has to make best efforts to close the deal. He can't sit there and say, hold on, the Fed hasn't reached out. There's been separate news from Twitter saying they haven't heard shit about this from the government either. So he can't ask for extra time. No, that's fine, Red. Penny, you have 4K shares. Nice. I respect you. I want to shake your cock, sir. You're playing Sherman Williams put. I kind of like that play. I'm not jumping into anything significant. No. If it goes beyond Friday next week, CM is going to charge prejudgment interest. Agreed. There's also the argument, the judicial estoppel argument, which is the court made a specific action based on an argument forwarded. Basically, Elon Musk has lost all arguments now to get out of the deal. He can't go back, and now after filing what he did and having the court take action, that's estoppel. Meaning now he cannot go back and turn around and say, but MDAUs or even material adverse effect. Nope. He's basically thrown away every argument to get to the delay. And all because he didn't want to get deposed. Let's see the SPY. We are wrapping up almost. We're above 374 and pretty stable. So my nuts. I want to see how Monday turns out. I don't know about the on semi calls yet. Next week could be spicy. But Clack is next week, yeah. Jordy asks, what's wrong with depositions? He cannot control. Those lawyers can ask anything. The idea is that since a lot of the documents related to this case have been unsealed, the judge has been very transparent. The concern is Twitter lawyers can ask Elon all sorts of shit, and they immediately get released in the court, so everyone knows about them. Whoa, give me liquidity. 1.3 billion on the buy side. They'll ask him what he really thinks of his fans. They'll ask him, if you're going to take over Twitter, we're concerned about the employees leaving behind. Have you ever offered a horse for a hand job to a stewardess? Remember, sir, this is under oath. Yeah, where's caffeine? I miss caffeine. Where's my caffeine? Give me caffeine in here? No. Give me liquidity. We don't give me caffeine. It makes me sad. I mean, who has it? Just horsing around. Soaring Kiwi, fuck, I cannot imagine how awkward that man would be on the stand. Also, you have to acknowledge Twitter's attorneys have been fantastic this entire time. We've been following the case very closely. Twitter's attorneys have earned every fucking penny Elon Musk is going to end up spending. And by the way, that's important. You do know all of Twitter's legal bills is being paid by Twitter. It's being racked up by Twitter. Elon Musk buys Twitter. He will assume those bills. Elon Musk paid for the legal team that beat his team's ass. Jack and Blaston says, easy to win if the law is on your side. That is correct. Yeah, imagine that. He's paying for the best legal representation to body him. Oh. All right, guys. Time. Look at that. 2.4%. Oh. I ended today green despite the fact that I'm getting bodied on AXP and I did not sell. Nope. Holy shit, look at it. Look at AXP go. Right? Yeah, Jody Botto, leave it as accounts payable so he'll have to pay it. Exactly. Yep, Sung Maxi, and now you have probably a lot of Twitter employees right now looking around since Elon's 75% employee cut plan. And I will encourage them, do not, I repeat, do not quit. Make him fire you. Make him fire you. By the way, guys, just so you know, let's chat for a second, okay? Now, I've worked on HR and strategy for a few Fortune 500 companies, a few very big organizations. Let me tell you something, because not nearly enough people understand this or appreciate this. I had people working beneath me. Okay, I had direct reports. I had analysts. I hired, trained, deployed analysts. Love that part of my job. If my analysts leave me, leave my company, go to work someone else, I don't care what they did. If I have someone from another company call me and ask me for a referral, I would literally pass them off to, we have a vendor that specifically did it. ADP does this shit, in fact. And that vendor is who they can speak to confirm they worked for us. Starting, ending salary, start date, end date, that's it. I was banned from basically providing references. This is not a one company thing. This is just about an every company thing. This is my way of saying, if you are dissatisfied with the job and you're worried, well, I would normally quit, or I should quit instead of being fired because I'm worried about what it says to my future employers. They'll never fucking know. No, semis are fab. I did not say I bought 500 Twitter shares. I said I bought 600. Okay? 600. Yeah. And I still had 200, so I have 800 shares now. In total, 800 shares. All right? So remember this. Do not ever be worried about the idea that you leave a job and then all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh, but I was fired, and oh my God, they're going to call my former boss. Because if your current employer is at all smart for their own legal standing, they know not to give references. Best way to get fired, don't zip your pants. Just get the dick flat out. You're not going to get money for it. But yeah. Cocks out Fridays. Can't the company get sued for saying anything negative? They can get sued for saying anything. The problem is this. If they say, for example, positive things, Rad, and then it turns out the person's let's use an example, okay? You're working for me. We find out you get caught drunk driving twice in 1 week. Don't laugh. This is actually a true story. Not from me, but from one of the companies I worked at. Okay? Someone gets caught drunk driving twice. All right? If that person then gets fired, they get drunk driving twice, the second time on the job, by the way, which is when we found out about the first one. If that happens, the person clearly had a drinking problem. We knew about it because the second time was on company, on company grounds, company time, company property, etc. If we know that and someone then calls up for a reference, if we don't mention that, but we give a reference and that employee goes on for that other company and drinking and driving again and run someone over on company grounds, we could get sued by the previous company for not disclosing it. Do you know what's different though? If we don't say shit. If we just say the person started for us at this date, ended this date, this is their starting salary, this is their ending date. We provided no guarantee, implied or explicit, about the person's performance. We can't get sued. Did we know about the drinking problem? Yes. But we never said anything positive or negative. We stuck to basic things. Does that make sense? Dude, there was an instance in which I've listen, HR, I've worked around some fucked up situations. I'm just gonna say. Why can you get sued? Why are you not just allowed to lie? It's not like you're under oath. It's not. It's a penny. I mean, it's civil. It's not criminal liability. So yeah. But it's legal. Yeah, basically that's why a lot of big companies are smart enough to know, a lot of companies have policies. You can't do referrals, you can't do recommendations. To the power is one. Beyond reasonable doubt, preponderance of evidence, if I remember correctly. Defamation of character, I don't think it's defamation of character. I think defamation of character is if you give Like if I sit there and say such and such person's dumb as a box of rocks and they don't get hired based on that statement, and then someone comes back and sues, then it becomes a question of like, is it defamation? So yeah. The important part that I want you guys to understand about this is a lot of the big companies do not provide like references. They say when someone started working, when someone stopped working, starting and ending salary, that's it. There are services. Big companies do it, by the way. All right. That's what I want you guys to know. So, literally, if you get fired from someone, like if you got fired from one of my previous companies, unless you tell the person you're interviewing with why you left, they're never going to find out from us. We'll never say. There are people who are fired for cause. We will not say. Give me liquidity. Company you work for is selling your division. The new company is planning to give some employee offer letters. You would rather be laid off. Any advice? I don't know. Oh no. I'm sorry. Give me liquidity. I'm going to be the wrong person to ask that question to. I don't. That's a really big legal question. What state, by the way? California. Unzip pants. Those are the best answers. Yeah, it's a real interesting. Massachusetts. Gotcha. Yeah. Would not stating that we fired them without giving details be enough of a reason for the next employer to not hire them? We don't care. If the future company doesn't hire my former worker, I'm not supposed to care. It could happen, but all these companies hired me, and literally they did not get any references from prior employers. I was never fired, but yeah, it's a weird one. Do we have a Tesla Form 4? Anyway. Yeah, so PMA rehab. Generally speaking, when someone leaves, we never even tell the other company if it was voluntary or non-voluntary. I've had a few companies, I guess, who have tried to reach out to basically say, is this person eligible to be rehired or not? And we wouldn't even answer that. Didn't Musk have earnings on a Saturday once? I've never heard of that. I know that a lot of the China data comes out on weekends, but I think that's China data, not. Oh my god, this is fucked. Did that person die? That feels extremely dangerous. Look at this. Board XEX. If he sold yesterday after earnings, I don't think he was eligible to sell yesterday after earnings. I thought today would be the first day. People are saying Monday. It's not mine. Why are earnings released and the market is not open? Is there a reason? Generally speaking, I don't know if they're like banned from doing it when normal market hours, but yeah, usually earnings are always either pre-market or post-market. That person's not die. Wow. Police robot told woman to go away after she tried to report a crime, then sang a song. And you think you remember that person didn't die? Nice. Yeah, this feeling Elon, it could happen. It could happen. That's the good news, by the way. With the way it's working out, if Elon escapes without having to sell, as long as he buys Twitter, I will have still made more than enough money. Assuming my Tesla puts go completely to zero, I will have made them up on Twitter. Tory's choosing a new leader this morning. Anyway, folks, by the way, Semis are fab. Thank you for the 100 bits. Greatly appreciated, guys. Bits are helpful. I swear. I appreciate it. Anyway, friends, if you need something to do tonight, we are playing games tonight. I would highly recommend it. Suchi, exactly. If Elon goes to court and dominates, yeah, that'd be a problem. Anyway, I will see you guys all next week. Let's see how our good friend Jay Jared's doing. Thank you for keeping you entertained and learning at work. Oh, my pleasure. Hope to see some of you guys playing tonight. I've been great. Thank you, Semis are fab. You were wonderful. Take care, guys. Peace.